my pillows. Sun, awake, the morning, the sun rises, but I'm alone. Hurts my soul. 1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. Here within my arms again. Oh yeah. Seems I'm losing you. Oh yeah. Listen, if something's wrong, please tell me. Something feels so strange, baby. You know that you say your phone and you don't call me. Something
Confirm.
feels so wrong, baby. When you're laying beside me, it feels so far. Recently, I've been thinking, if I'm not mistaken, I heard you call another man's name while sleeping. Words going around, say you know want me again. You tell your friends any day now, our relationship will end. And them I watch, sit down and I wait. They wanna see us break up, walk out, lose everything we build. And them I chat, and them I wait. They wanna see us break up, walk out, and lose on everything we built. Now 15 years can't go in vain, and this feeling's driving me insane. Giving you everything, even my last name. Wedding bells and a diamond ring. You don't say I love you anymore. Something feels so wrong, baby. And you got me feeling. We got it going on. Hey, we got it going on. No separating me and my lady.
Big good morning, New Jersey.
Gibraltar and mountains around Jerusalem. Ooh, you labor in vain if you're trying to.
And I welcome the rest of the world to the Groovin Radio experience. The name is Ras Clem. You're listening to the voice of singer Ras Riley. That's right. Indeed. That's right. Spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. Every Saturday morning. That's right.
I'm not the type to carry home to mother.
Indeed.
They put up all type of traps and barriers. Still I show them that true love's a conqueror. More than a million reasons to quit, but we'll never split. We got something strong, and so we're holding on.
I'm just letting you know at 9 a.m. we're going to be joining the Irie Jam family over at Hot 97.1 FM HD3. We're staying with 92.5 FM in Bergen County. At 10 a.m. we will be joined by 98.9 FM in the Bronx, Mount Vernon, and Lower Westchester County, the Future FM team. We're also live on the Tony Culture Time app. Good morning, Culture.
Make the bass line roll and catch. I'm in love with the rhythm just a tap.
At 9 a.m., ReggaeKingRadio.com joins us. Island Flavor Radio joins us. We're live on the WB Radio app. The entire hour is brought to you by KingstonCornerShop.com. The online store keeping the Jamaican and the Caribbean families and communities connected to their roots and culture with some classic Jamaican and Caribbean products. That's right.
Oh yes.
Got a very special program lineup right after 9 o'clock. Stick and stay. It's Groovin Radio. The experience like no other.
Looking out across the nighttime, the city winks a sleepless eye. Hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. And if this town is just an apple, will you take a bite? And if they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me that way. Oh, I tell you why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me that way.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we grow, I would like you to download the Tony Culture YouTube channel. Join the Tony Culture YouTube channel. You can catch Groovin Radio replay right there. You can catch Groovin Radio live on the Tony Culture YouTube channel. So tune in, ladies and gentlemen. We are everywhere now. We're just spreading our wings based on the good Lord and what the good Lord has blessed us with. So we say thanks. Thanks to the team, Tony Culture, Fat Forward, and the 92.5 FM team, the Tony Culture Time app, and the Tony Culture YouTube channel. Hey.
Feeling inside bubbling over. You get a feeling inside bubbling over. Look like something of their own. Love's contagious. I don't need to be cured. Woman, you fill my prescription. Feel like a new man. You're like my vitamin. You keep me coming. Oh, baby, you're my medicine. When I need you so, never letting you go. And when your love attacked me, I couldn't do a thing about it. No, me no want to see no pharmacist. No, me just want you to come and treat me. Me no want no doctor come drugs me.
Thank you, sir.
All me want you do is I got news.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Groovin Radio is now live on the Tony Culture Times YouTube channel. Yes, indeed. Tony Culture Times YouTube channel. Groovin Radio is live. That's right. Hey.
No, I've never been someone shy.
Indeed.
Until I seen your eyes. Still I had to try.
I gotta say this, man. Every time I hear this song, one person comes to mind, and it's my late friend, former Consul General Alcyon Roach Wilson. Rest in peace, my dear friend. Rest well, Alcyon. We miss you.
Can relate to when they find a special someone, and she's royal, yeah, so royal, and I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I need her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind until the night that I seen her rise.
Sing it. Tyrus Riley representing the Groovin Radio, you know? All the girls who are tight and all man go on, bless her. I'm a grooving, listening to Groovin Radio.
feels so good and there is no doubt I will stay with you as each morning brings a sunrise and the flowers bloom in springtime. On my love and you can rely. I will stay with you. Oh, I will stay with you through your ups and your downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around. And when the dark clouds arrive, I will stay by your side. And I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you.
That's right.
Give us the teaching of Marcus Garvey.
Rastafari.
Glory of kings. Give I and I Selassie and keep the guy with the blue eyes.
True.
For yourself.
Right.
Cause people without a vision perish like suicide.
Indeed. You tell me it's not about colors.
Still you refuse to take the picture off the wall. Oh,
He was born in the Bronx.
all you do is
Born
the brothers,
Taurus Omar Riley. He resides in St. Thomas, Jamaica. He's the son of the legendary Jimmy Riley. That's right. True. Hey, I was born in when love created I. That's what it's called.
Look how many prophets try
To open our eyes.
open our eyes.
Just can't
You know
fool
what
me.
I wanna find you?
Yes,
Find
I.
you today. You see like how I have you now.
Uh-huh.
You can't get away now.
Hey,
Me nah let you go. See me?
stick and stay, ladies and gentlemen.
Feels like we've been together forever.
True.
And it looks like we're gonna be together a lifetime, baby. Feels like we found something to treasure, girl. And just like a precious jewel, you are to me. It's plain to see there's chemistry.
I want you to jump and
We
shout the
found
tune it's
love
all
so
about.
naturally.
The musical country coming your way. Musical version, free like to make you be free like a
I'm
version
your
of the
words,
tree.
you're my melody. 'Cause when I'm down, you lift my spirit. All my pains are being erased. Loving you is loving me. And you make it so easy.
You make me feel so good.
Like you, no longer wanna find you. You're my soulmate.
Wait, down and tell the people about the musical deal coming your way.
What can I say?
That's it.
Thank you.
What can I say to thank you? Thank you, New Jersey.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, 92.5 FM.
We give thanks.
We give thanks.
Dankeschön.
Thanks.
Simple.
Hey,
If you leave, you know I would be weak.
Tanisha Malcolm went. Good morning, cuz.
You brought me back.
Diana Hume. Good morning, cuz. Hey,
Felt like my heart was frozen. Now it's because of you bringing me through. Now I can love again. Heal me. You
Oh
heal
my
me.
gosh, the music just turns me on.
Freed me. What would I be without your love? Thank you.
thank you, cuz.
For reminding me
Thank you, Tanisha.
that love is patient, love is
Love you,
kind,
cuz.
love is gentle, love forgives. I thank you.
Hey, I thank you.
Reminding me
And I thank the listeners.
that love things
You make me feel so good.
love will last forever. Heal me, appreciate your loving girl. Free me, What would I be without your love?
Thank you. Hey.
Are you ready? Yes, this is Janine, and you're tuned in to Groovin Radio. Rastafari love.
That is indeed. Let me say thanks so much for this entire first hour. It was brought to you by your favorite online store. That is KingstonCornershop.com. Just log on to www.kingstoncornershop.com. That's corner with a K. They're keeping the Jamaican and Caribbean families and communities connected to their roots and culture, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier on, you heard from the one and only Mr. Romain Virgo. Yes, indeed. The man was born and raised in St. Anne's, Jamaica. He is one of the most talented young reggae, roots reggae, rock steady singer coming out of Jamaica. And then you just heard from Ras Riley. Yes, the man was born and raised in the Bronx, but he resided in Jamaica, in St. Thomas, Jamaica. He is the son of legendary Mr. Jimmy Riley. At the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, we will be joining the Irie Jam team at Hot 97.1 FM HD3. We're staying with 92.5 FM in Bergen County, New Jersey. We're live on the Tony Culture Times app, the Tony Culture Times YouTube channel. We're on the Tony Culture Time app, also WB Radio app. We will be live on Reggae King Radio, Island Flavor Radio, and GroovinRadioNY.com at 10 a.m. We bring in the team from 98.9 FM in the Bronx, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, New Rochelle, and the Lower Westchester County area, DJ Sean, and the Future FMT. My name is Ras Clem, and this is Groovin Radio. We will be live until 12 p.m. today, midday, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is an experience of a lifetime. It is engaging, it is educational, it is just more than radio, and it's hosted by, yes indeed, the award-winning Ras Clem, badge of honor, emeritorious from the Jamaican government. Stick and stay, ladies and gentlemen. It is Groovin Radio.
Rastafari.
Hi New York, this is King James, and you're listening to Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
You know the thing got big up Groovin Radio with Ras Clem and Busy Signal, I said that, man.
Stay tuned for Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Kels. You are tuned in to Ras Clem.
Good morning.
East, and this is the original Chronics representing, and I say you're listening to Groovin Radio with the original Ras Clem.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
Groovin Radio.
Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Groovin Radio with the original Ras Clem.
This is what everybody's talking about.
Sing it. Ras Riley representing for Groovin Radio, you know? All the girls who are tight and all man go on, bless up. I'm a grooving, listening to Groovin Radio. Come on, man.
This is Alpha Blondie with his brother Ras Clem on Groovin Radio. Some call him Allah, some call him Adonai, some call him Jehovah, Jesus, Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, but he's one. Yes, he is one. Like a tree with many branches, many in one. Hallelujah. God is great. Hallelujah. God is one. Big up. I love you.
It's all about Groovin Radio. Number one station. Albaro's listening. Fire can cool this, ya fire can tame. Yo, freedom on fire.
Give praise to Rastafari, and all praises unto Jah. Yeah, I am a conqueror. Blessed love, this is Lucian Jah Messenger, and it's Irie Jam keeping the music alive.
Irie Jam and Real Caribbean Radio.
Keep connecting. Stay connected.
Experience the connection.
Irie Jam.
From Flatbridge to the George Washington Bridge. From the top of the Empire State Building to the Blue Mountain Peak of New York City. It's Irie Jam.
WQHT 97.1 FM HD3.
Irie Jam.
My heart's racing, I'm shaking, listening to the songs you're playing. Irie Jam. You are no ordinary station. Yo, what's up? This is Alaine. Keep listening to Irie Jam.
Hi, New York. This is King Jammys, and you're listening to Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
Hey, this is your girl Sugar, and right now you're grooving with Groovin Radio. You don't know Ras Clem.
Andrea, is who baked this fruitcake?
What you mean? I did.
But you can bake.
Yes, I can.
But when you find the time?
Didn't need any. It's Annie Lou Cake Mix.
Annie Lou Cake Mix. Just add eggs and butter. Mix for 3 minutes, then pop in the oven for a real Jamaican fruitcake at half the price of baking from scratch.
This is not cake mix. It's who really bake it for you.
Annie Lou. And there's Annie Lou soaked fruits if you want to bake your own cake from scratch.
Annie Lou Jamaican Fruitcake Mix. All of the flavor, none of the fuss.
Looking for a medical doctor? Hey, look no further. Dr. France Jasmine for all your medical needs. Dr. Jasmine specializes in immigration medical examination form I-693, citizenship test exemption form N-648, DOT certified for medical examination for all CDL drivers, including bus and truck drivers, pre-employment examination, school medical examination. Call today, don't delay. Call Dr. Jasmine right away. 718-994-8932. Located 3919 Dyer Avenue off 233rd Street in the Bronx. Dr. France Jasmine, board certified.
The newly renovated dining room at the Door Caribbean Restaurant is something to talk about. Talk about being exquisite, elegant, and truly sophisticated. It's a must-see and something you'll be talking about for a long time. The Door Caribbean Restaurant, because you deserve nothing less.
Lord, me picnic on all the way to Missouri. I mean, I don't know how him will eat at daytime because him love him banana chips, him love him bun and cheese, and I don't know which part of the world them go find them the same thing there.
Relax, Mary, what you talk about? This handy boy got the corner shop and make him harder what he want.
What you want talk about corner shop? You know, see the boy there all the way in Middle America back a God back. You think we there Jamaica?
No, darling. Get with the times, man. Modern technology we are talking about. The corner shop online. KingstonCornerShop.com.
What?
Kingston Corner with a K shop.com, and him just order the thing them and them ship it right to him destination. So him can get up a man in time and make him little plantain porridge. For lunch, him can eat some bully beef with little onion cut up in there. And then for dinner, him can boil the greatest Jamaican cock soup.
So him really want me home so much.
So say it with me and set your heart at ease.
KingstonCornerShop.com.
How are you celebrating Black Excellence Month? Join us for the annual Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Awards fundraising VIP Black Tie Gala, the premier networking celebration for today's business leaders, Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 at Terrace on the Park, Queens, New York. We honor our unsung heroes and heroines across African American and Caribbean communities and the global African diaspora, the movers, the shakers, the visionaries, featuring industry icons like David Levy, Lee, rocking you. Lifetime Achievement in Caribbean Radio Broadcasting and Global Citizen Icon honoree, His Majesty King Osindeyo Kwasi Akufo III of Ghana, and more. Early bird tickets are ending soon. Visit ygbawards.org. That's ygbawards.org and click purchase ticket. This isn't just an event, it's a movement.
Wait the town and tell the people.
It's a newly renovated VP record store located at 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. We have a wide array of music for you to choose from: reggae, soca, gospel, and rocksteady. We also stock specialty gift items, arts, books, CDs, and vinyl. And for that trendy individual, check out our rhythm-driven clothing. Visit us today, VP Record Store, 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. Open Monday to Friday, 11 to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. Call us today, 718-297-5802. That's 718-297-5802.
Brand new! From Flatbridge to the George Washington Bridge. From the top of the Empire State Building to the Blue Mountain Peak of New York City. It's Irie Jam.
WQHT 97.1 FM HD3.
Hi, New York. This is King James, and you're listening to Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
Hey, this is your girl Sugar. Right now you're grooving with Groovin Radio. You don't know Ras Clem.
That is absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen. As I take this time to say good morning and good morning to the entire world, my name is Ras Clem, and I welcome you with open arms. I welcome you with love to the Groovin Radio experience live on Irie Jam Radio, Hot 97.1 FM HD3. We're also live on the Tony Culture Times YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also take this time to say good morning and thanks to the preceding presentation. That was Island Flavor Radio, a radio program full musically of all different kind of island flavors. My brother, the Bajan King. Good morning, my brother. Much love to you and the entire Irie Jam family. We're live on 92.5 FM, also in Bergen County, New Jersey, GroovinRadioNY.com, and I'll give you a complete rundown as the program goes on this morning. How was your week and how did you get your weekend started? I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that you make this appointment to be with us every Saturday morning, starting live at 9 a.m. and we go all the way up until 12 noon. Well, they say this week that we may see some snow come tomorrow. So let me give you a bit of weather before we go any further. New York City, it is currently 39 degrees on the outside with some high clouds. The high temperatures for the day will just be around 46 degrees with cloud early and sunshine rolling in later on today. The sun will set this evening just around 5:38 p.m. We're seeing more daylight time now, ladies and gentlemen. This indicates that we're getting closer and closer to the end of the winter season. Then overnight tonight, we will see the temperatures drop down to 35 degrees with cloud, and this will come right before daybreak. The sun will rise at 6:42 a.m. in the morning. Then Sunday's temperatures, we are looking at 37 degrees with cloud and a 90% chance for a wintry mix tomorrow going into Monday morning. Monday's temperatures, we're looking at 34 degrees with a 95% chance for some snow. Tuesday, 29 degrees with sunshine. Midweek Wednesday, we're up to 38 degrees with some cloud and a 55% chance for another wintry mix around here. That is for your day. Thursday, we're looking at 45 degrees with cloud and a 65% chance for some rain. And closing out the week on Friday, we're looking at 46 degrees with a 70% chance for more rain. A quick look at next weekend's weather. Saturday promises to be 52 degrees with sunshine, and next Sunday, they're telling us it's 46 degrees with some cloud. Folks, full joy this beautiful weekend that we're so blessed with. So many had made plans to be with us this morning, and they did not make it this far. So we say thanks. This is the day the Lord has made, so let us all rejoice and be glad in it. Be very careful out there. Be mindful and just please be respectful of each other. Once again, you're listening to the Groovin Radio experience live on Irie Jam Radio, Hot 97.1 FM HD3. Let me quickly remind you that Groovin Radio comes your way courtesy of your favorite online store. That is Kingston Corner Shop, corner with a K. Please log on to www.kingstoncornershop.com. KingstonCornershop.com is the online store that is keeping the Jamaican and Caribbean families and communities connected to their roots and culture with some classic Jamaican and Caribbean products. www.kingstoncornershop.com. Groovin Radio also comes your way courtesy of Irie Jam Radio. The legacy continues. Irie Jam Radio is celebrating over 30 years of radio broadcasts right here in the Caribbean diaspora. To keep Irie Jam Radio on air, to keep Groovin Radio live on air, please advertise at 1-800-277-1462. That is 1-800-277-1462. Groovin Radio also comes your way courtesy of Bullseye Marketing and Promotion. If you have a product you'd like to market, if you have an event that you would like to market, look no further than Bullseye Marketing and Promotion. Their hotline number is 347-449-7848. That is 347-449-7848. Big good morning to Dr. Novlet Butler. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, they're presenting their big event, Beyond Valentine's. I will tell you some more about it later on in the program. Now, let me give you a program rundown. Up next is going to be our musical presentation, and it's brought to you by, yes, KingstonCornerShop.com. This Saturday morning, we're going down to St. Catherine, Jamaica. St. Catherine, Jamaica is the birthplace of the young and talented reggae dancehall singer. Yes, indeed. He attended St. Jago High School. In 2005, he won the Digicel Rising Star title. He was born on the 14th of February in Linstead, Jamaica. He was born in 1987. What's that, 39 years ago? Ladies and gentlemen, born Christopher Martin. The music of the big deal singer, the Valentine singer, Christopher Martin, right here on Groovin Radio. It is followed by our community engagement segment. Yes, Kingdom Workshop Production presents an original whodunit murder mystery. Dinner theater event, ladies and gentlemen. A mystery at Daddy's Old Joe's Midnight Chateau. Producer, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Catherine Gore is going to be joining us right here on Groovin Radio to tell us some more about it. It's going to take place on Saturday, the 7th of March, inside the United Methodist Church. We will hear a lot about it at 9:40 a.m. this morning. After the 10 o'clock hour, we're going down to Jamaica, and we will be joining the team from the Jamaica Information Services with their weekly news roundup. The news this morning will be presented by Miss Joy Kelly. I'm hoping to catch up with Anthony Turner right after that with Entertainment Report, ladies and gentlemen. And then we move into our featured segment. It is called Mic Check, Sparking Global Changes. This morning, we will remember Jesse Louis Jackson, the American civil rights activist, politician, and ordained Baptist minister, a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for president twice, in 1984 and in 1988. Reverend Jackson was born on the 8th of October, 1941. He sadly died on the 17th of February 2026 in Chicago, surrounded by families. The legendary journalist, Mr. Bob Gore, one-time campaign manager, the Jesse Jackson, will join us to remember the legendary, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. And then we will close the morning out with Open Forum Community Talk. The Global Jamaica Diaspora Council Election 2026, the shenanigans that is taking place right now, it's on display. The election ended yesterday, but this is deeply troubling. Former founding member of the Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board, Mr. Patrick Beckford, OD, is joining us this morning right here on Groovin Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, a program rundown right here on Groovin Radio. Well, before we get into any kind of musical presentation this morning, let me do this and give you a bit of international news. We woke up to the sad news this past week on Monday that the Reverend Jesse Jackson, keeping hope alive, well, he died, ladies and gentlemen. He was 84 years old. Rest in peace, Reverend Jackson. Rest in power. On Friday, the Supreme Court ruled that Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs are illegal. The court ruled on Friday that President Donald Trump violated federal laws when he definitely imposed sweeping tariffs across the globe. A striking loss, yes, a striking loss to the White House. And this is what Donald Trump really ran on. He was going to impose tariff, and he was supposed to be using this as part of his policies and his economical agenda. Well, guess what? Finally, the Supreme Court fined some Gambinos. They voted 6-3 to shut this down. Let me go to Great Britain this morning, and the BBC News is reporting that Britain now says they're going to be blocking air bases that Trump says he would need to strike Iran. The UK media report that Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer has blocked, yes, a request from US President Donald Trump to allow the United States Air Forces to use UK air bases during a preemptive attack on Iran. The Prime Minister says this is a breach of international law, and it's according to multiple British source, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking. Friday, the report came out from Breaking Point News. Experts now says they're near proof of a massive 2024 election fraud that could flip, yes, the 2024 Trump election win. The big question they're asking, what role did Starlink and Elon Musk played? Did they manipulated the voting in swing states? It is very, very close, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Groovin Radio experience, and my name is Ras Clem. It is now time for our musical presentation. The music of the big deal singer, Mr. Christopher Martin, right here on Groovin Radio.
Welcome to the world of musical sounds. In a moment, you will meet someone who will take you on a mystery's journey, in which you will get to know the best genres of music from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Ras Clem.
Martinia, oh, Lord of mercy, oh, hey, yeah. It's not the first, not the last. So much pretty girl I pass. Good morning. Holding on to such a task. That's why me I say this is Christopher Martin, Step and Rising. You're in tune to Groovin Radio. My girlfriend, but as far as I can see, she loves only me. Oh Lord, don't let me cheat on my girlfriend. But Lord, if you can stop me from cheating, just don't let me get caught. No, don't let me get caught. No, don't let me get caught. No, hope I don't get caught. So listen to me now. It's such a sticky situation, yeah. Me promise my girl if you only look in her direction, but everywhere me turn, me see her next one. And my body is too weak and I ball for attention. I only wanna give the girls what they want. My lady says I'm wrong, but she would understand. I don't wanna lie, but I don't want to cry. Yo, I'm so very weak inside. Oh Lord, don't let me cheat on my girlfriend. 'Cause as far as I can see, she loves only me. Oh Lord, don't a cheat. But Lord, if you can stop me from cheating, just don't let me get caught. No, don't let me get caught. You don't let me the blue. Come back. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I pushed you over the edge. And you don't wanna come back.
Hey.
Haunted by the words you said.
Hey.
You said I was a dirty no good.
Good morning.
But you don't wanna deal with life. Has a way of changing people that was so bad.
It is, you know.
Something so good.
It does. Hey.
I just wanna share it with you, baby. Would you, baby? Hey, come back, come back, come back. I really need you to come back, come back, come back. Would you come back, baby? Come back, come back, come back. Ooh, come back, come back.
When I listen to music, it's only Irie Jam I listen to. We're talking about Irie Jam is real vibes.
It is, you know.
Cause if I can't have you, I'd rather to be alone. And I got so many fine things in the lobby just waiting on me. But I'd rather go on just waiting by the phone. Hey, cause life has a way of turning something that was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
And this new life, I just wanna share it with you, baby. Now would you, baby? Won't you, baby? Come back, come back, come back. I'm waiting, girl. Come back, come back, come back. I'll be good to you. Come back, come back.
Will you come back, cuz? Will you? Will you come back, cuz? Hey. Good morning, Tanisha. Yes. Auntie D connected. Yes, cuz she did. Yes, right.
I'm glad I got to meet you. You're the feature presentation of this evening.
Indeed.
And it's oh so nice. Oh, and I can't tell you how my heart is beating, girl, racing deep inside. And I start pouring a couple, trying my best to calm these butterflies. 'Cause girl, you are so lovely.
You make me feel so good.
Girl, you are so lovely.
Oh my gosh. The music just turns me on.
It's amazing how you naturally attract me with your charm. You're appealing, just the way you make me smile. All the while, all the while. And girl, you are a cut above the rest. You think to not fast the ceiling.
Non-stop music and hits on IBJ Radio.
Oh, and I can't tell you how my heart is beating, girl, racing deep inside. Oh, girl, I start pouring a couple, trying my best to calm these butterflies. Oh, girl, you are so lovely.
Barry G's on the go, but I have time for Groovin Radio. Hosted by Ras Clem. Catch it if you can. Saturdays, 9 a.m.
Did I say he won the Digicel title Rising Star in 2005? 2 years removed from St. Jago High School. The Voice. of Christopher Martin.
Got a big bright smile, but my days are dark.
Hey.
Hungry till I can barely walk.
Hey.
Oh,
Don't watch the look on my face. Hey.
No, don't have no food and my cupboard's dry. Only God knows how I get by. Oh,
I tell you that, you know.
don't watch the look on my face.
Only God knows how I get by.
She's the sweetest thing that you've ever seen. Selling her body wasn't in her dreams, no. Don't watch the look on her face, no. No, because we have a pleasant look. If you don't know the story, don't judge the book.
True.
Please don't.
If you don't know the story, don't judge the book.
Even though I smile, it is only for a while. Tears could fill the river Nile, but I sweep my troubles underneath my pride.
True.
Yes, I'm gonna smile, though it's only for a while.
That's right.
Till my worries subside, I will sweep my troubles underneath my pride. Ooh, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, no, this is Christopher Martin, Stepping Racing. You're in tune to Groovin Radio. There's a place we can go.
Oh,
it's never cold, it never snows.
The music just turns me
Come feel the
on.
sand between your toes, baby. Yeah, you and I. Come to me, wintertime.
Roll call coming up.
I'll keep you warm without a fire.
Roll call coming up.
I'll fulfill your heart's desire.
That's right.
You and I.
Diana Hume. Good morning, cuz.
Baby, feels so good to be with you tonight. Baby, feels so good to have you in my life.
As a matter of fact, let me take this time to say good morning to the entire Hume clan. Hey, near and far.
My rain comes with thunder.
I want to go down to Florida.
Smiling so much your friends wonder.
Good morning, Miss Mirage. Charlene, that is.
Don't hold it no longer.
Hey.
Let it out, let it out.
Want to go to Westchester County. Shauna Thompson. Good morning, girl. How you doing? How you feeling? Hey.
Shame me from a little under country, me know me did I go far. Enough people look and never see nothing but me see a star. See me name in bright lights and face in cinemas. Them used to see my chest high, but look at me now, in full control. Before in a push start, press gas go. Designer clothes and shoes like wow. And I hype me just to show you how me grow. Remember up a country when I did a climb tree. I forgot river come up on the garbage. Only time I come a town I must sit on a church tree. Part them carry me go airport, figure pick up family. Know that family's me. Ooh-wee. If you know what for me, then I'm sorry. Cause job bless me. Ooh-wee. I'm a block and delete the wicked girl poverty right now, man. Big. Car big. House big. I'm a gal them mad. I'm a bank book big. Lifestyle big. Wanna do it big. From a little bit of someone want live Jordan. Imagine if a youth like me did born in a money. Get a jump start from a rich daddy or mommy. With the drive on me, have and the ambition within. Make me tell her straight, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. All of my friends, them would have rich long time, got from me rich, them rich too. Me know myself and share my wealth, that wanna be no issue. Give me knowledge to the one, them are willing for listen real. Done in the land, man, alliance, some boy a kitten, man, big. Car big. House big. I'm a gal them mad.
Smartin', I'm telling you, but that's loving yourself. I mean, value yourself, think highly of yourself. No, you're very important. Hashtag, I'm a big deal.
VIP, you're my friend, I'm a VIP. VIP. Ask anybody, boy.
I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal. Yeah, we're kinda important. For real. Oh yeah, I'm a big deal. And my friends are some big deals. Very, very, very important. For real. This has nothing to do with money or fame or vanity. This one is all about self-worth. So big up your chest and stand proud, and don't matter about nobody, no man no more than no man on this earth. So whether you walk or you a drive car, I tell if you're white or black like tar, me feel good in yourself, you're a star. Push up on the one and tell all the haters I'm a big deal.
I am, you know.
I'm a friend, I'm a big deal.
True.
And if you tell you, yeah, we're kinda important.
We are, you know.
For real. Oh yeah, I'm a big deal.
Hashtag.
My friends are some big deals. Okay. Very, very, very important.
Wayne Oxdale Jackson. Good morning, sir.
Don't make your girlfriends smash me up. Don't
Hey.
make your friend them break me up.
Hey.
Listen to me, girl, child.
Hey.
Your girlfriends don't think I love you like I used to.
Oh my God.
And they don't seem to trust me like they used to.
And I wonder why.
And from the other day, you a move off time. The news them carry up full of your mind.
Indeed.
You know me love you, but me now move blind.
True.
Really wanna know, am I that man you fell 4 years ago?
Am I?
You say I'm changed, and that's just how life goes. Oh, but baby girl, you know me change for the best. Ever give you more, come and I'll give you less. All the interest in you me invest. This you need to know, that no matter what I do, and no matter what I say, your friends are gonna judge me anyway. Baby, tell me this, would you sleep with your friends? Would you be with your friends? And can your girlfriends give you what we give you? When the rain will fall on the ends, tell me this,
Lock it
would you
down,
be with your
Irish
friends?
biggest station of the
Can you
tri-state, you
sleep
know.
with your friends? Oh, and if your girlfriends give you what we give you, then go and be with your friends. Flowers in the morning for you, kiss on your cheek, baby.
Oh my God. The music just turns me on.
You're right, you're my type. You're my kind of girl. Your teeth white,
Indeed.
smile bright,
Right.
enough to brighten up this world.
That's right.
See, you're prettier than any supermodel.
You know that, girl.
You love no boy can't put a value.
True.
Because you're right, just my type. You're my kind of girl. Sweeter than the morning view in cherry gardens from
Hey.
one of my houses. So I will come and give to you pretty roses, show you what love is. Anything you want, my dear, and anytime you need me, I'll be there for you.
You make me feel so good.
You're right, you're my type, you're my kind of girl. Your teeth white, your smile bright, enough to brighten up this world. To be a prettier than any supermodel.
I can tell you this.
For your love, no boy can't put a value.
I am really, really intentional.
You're my
I am, you know.
kind of girl.
And I think you should be. I think you should be. Good morning, Lisa Marie. How are you? Hey.
Oh, I wake up in the morning with my head down in my eyes.
I gotta say good morning to my girls, Zara and Zena Hume. Good morning, girls. Love you.
And I stumble to the breakfast table while the kids are going.
I love my
off to
boys
school.
too.
Goodbye.
Sajari, how are you? Jair? Bijan? Sajari?
She reaches out and takes
Zaid?
my hand,
Hey.
kisses it and says,
How you doing, hun?
How you doing, hon?
Hey.
And I look across her smiling lips.
Indeed.
That warms my heart to see my morning sun.
Good morning to the VP team. VP Records, that is.
If that's not loving me,
It is called Little Green Apple.
then all I got to say.
Got to say.
Oh my God.
God didn't make the little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis
In the summertime. Summertime. Hey.
There's no
such thing as Dr. Seuss, Disneyland and Mother Goose.
What a retake from Dennis Brown's version. And Dennis Brown did a retake too, you know. It's not original.
It's the summertime. And when myself is feeling low, I think about a face aglow and ease my
Miss Catherine
mind.
Gore, stand by.
How does he do it? What are they talking about? I don't
Hey.
know. He looks so involved. You want to go over there? Yeah, let's go over there.
Yo, me don't know him do it in the blood.
Yeah, I tell you. It's
Trying to figure out just how I do it.
They are trying, you know.
And from the corner of their eyes, they watch me through it.
They're watching.
And why as soon as I arrive, a room full of girls get energized. They can't fathom in their minds why girls flock to me every time. I'm like a walking razor, don't you watch my size? I'm dangerous, dangerous. You wanna stepping razor, girls love my style. I'm dangerous.
It is. It is.
I make them feel so good inside, intoxicated by my smile. These girls fall in no time. I tell you they love my company. Now ladies love to be next to me.
That's right.
If they are down and I'm around, I am the remedy. Always in their memories, I get them smiling from the start. Self-esteem blows through the charts, and compliments start flying. I'm not even trying, but I always win their hearts.
Yeah, no, this is Christopher Martin. Step with the rage. You're into Groovin Radio.
Dangerous.
Musical Brothers. Musical Brothers.
Chatty, chatty, Mount Amasi, mix up. Why you not leave people business?
From St. Catherine to St. Anne's.
People business.
From Linstead. Christopher Martin was born. And we go to St. Anne's, the home of Romaine Virgo. Hey. Good morning, Jen. Hey. Face again. Place again.
So right I know me as I could score. Who know it already now go make no do it no more.
Now hear this is Romaine Virgo, you're locked into Groovin Radio.
Mix up. Why you not leave people business? I said below people business.
Hey.
God, I tell you about.
Nasty nigga.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you really think that we can be just friends?
Can you? Could you?
See, you're acting cool as if we were nothing. If you think that it's that easy, think again.
Think again.
If you let me get over you, you're the one that's gonna lose.
You are, you know.
You'll never find a love like mine.
And I will guarantee that.
Love's gotta hurt sometimes, you know. Don't be hasty. Be patient, baby.
You should.
You'll never find a love like mine. No matter where you go.
I can bet my life on that.
No matter where you go. No matter where you go. Sitting thinking of all that we've been through.
True.
I'm alone in my thoughts are all on you.
Indeed.
You are not around, but your perfume is in this crowd. Ooh, it makes me reminisce. Baby, how did we come to this? Ooh, girl, you'll never find a love like mine.
Search all you want to search. Chris. That's right. The big party is tonight. The big party is tonight. Beyond Valentine's, hearts unite for a great cause. Tonight inside the Diamond Renaissance Banquet Hall, 247-11, Francis Lewis Boulevard. You want to support this one. It's for a great cause. And this is where we're going to leave the musical presentation. Hey, a bit of soca. Is it me or the weather? Hey. That's right. Stand by, Miss Gore. I had to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for choosing the Groovin Radio experience every Saturday morning live at 9 a.m. My name is Ras Clem. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it will be our community engagement segment. I'm going to be talking a murder mystery this morning. You don't want to miss it. It is indeed an original whodunit murder mystery. Saturday, March 7th. Stick and stay. I don't want to give away too much, huh?
Wait the town and tell the people.
It's a newly renovated VP record store located at 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. We have a wide array of music for you to choose from: reggae, soca, gospel, and rocksteady. We also stock specialty gift items, arts, books, CDs, and vinyl. And for that trendy individual, check out our rhythm-driven clothing. Visit us today, VP Record Store, 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. Open Monday to Friday, 11 to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. Call us today, 718-297-5802. That's 718-297-5802.
Brand new!
Lord, me picnic on all the way to Missouri. I mean, I don't know how him a eat at daytime because him love him banana chips, him love him bun and cheese, and I don't know which part of the world them I go find them the same thing there.
Relax, Mary, what you talk about? This handy boy got the corner shop and make him harder what him want.
What you want talk about corner shop? You know, see the boy there all the way in Middle America back a God back. You think we there Jamaica?
No, darling. Get with the times, man. Modern technology we are talking about. The corner shop online. KingstonCornerShop.com.
What?
Kingston Corner with a K shop.com. And him just harder the thing them and them ship it right to him destination. So him can get up a man in time and make him little plantain porridge. For lunch, him can eat some bully beef with little honey and cut up in there. And then for dinner, him can boil the greatest Jamaican cock soup.
So him really want me home so much.
So say it with me and set your heart at ease.
KingstonCornerShop.com.
Looking for a medical doctor? Hey, look no further. Dr. France Jasmine for all your medical needs. Dr. Jasmine specializes in immigration medical examination form I-693, citizenship test exemption form N-648, DOT certified for medical examination for all CDL drivers, including bus and truck drivers, pre-employment examination, school medical examination. Call today, don't delay. Call Dr. Jasmine right away. 718-994-8932. Located 3919 Dyer Avenue off 233rd Street in the Bronx. Dr. France Jasmine, board certified.
Andrea, is who baked this fruitcake?
What you mean? I did.
But you can bake.
Yes, I can.
But when you find the time?
Didn't need any. It's Annie Lou Cake Mix.
Annie Lou Cake Mix. Just add eggs and butter. Mix for 3 minutes, then pop in the oven for a real Jamaican fruitcake at half the price of baking from scratch. This is not cake mix. This will really bake it for you.
Annie Lou. And there's Annie Lou soaked fruits if you want to bake your own cake from scratch.
Annie Lou Jamaican Fruitcake Mix. All of the flavor, none of the fuss.
Yeah, no, this is Christopher Martin, the Steppin' Raisin. You're in tune to Groovin Radio. Grooving was made for love. Grooving was made for love. Stay tuned to Groovin Radio. Martin says so.
And thank you so much, Mr. Christopher Martin. You are absolutely right, my friend. And speaking of love, the young man was born on Valentine's Day. Yes, Christopher Martin. It is now time for our community engagement segment, ladies and gentlemen. And this morning, we are going across the river. We are going over to New Jersey. Why am I going to New Jersey this morning, ladies and gentlemen? Well, an original whodunit murder mystery dinner theater event a mystery at Daddy Joe's Midnight Chateau. Yes, and this will be hosted by the South Orange United Methodist Church on Saturday, March 7th, 2026, starting at 6 p.m. live, 287 Park Avenue in Orange, New Jersey. And ladies and gentlemen, who best to talk about this event this morning other than the producer herself, Miss Charlene Gore has now joined us. Good morning, Miss Gore. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am blessed. I woke up this morning, my 2 feet touched the ground. So I say, This is the day the Lord has made. So let us all rejoice in it. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. I'm with you. You know, God woke me up this morning, so I'm grateful. Absolutely.
Indeed. Who done it? Who done it? Murder mystery. And this is just sticking in my head. Who done it? Murder mystery. And I really want to know who did it. I'm sure you didn't do it.
Well, you know, you have to come and find out.
Indeed. On Saturday, March 7th, talk to us about the Kingdom Work production as you guys get ready to present an original whodunit murder mystery. Talk to us about this event, huh?
Yes. Okay. So we're so excited. So I have a Christian production company, as you mentioned, called Kingdom Work Productions, and we do original stage plays. And our latest stage play is a murder mystery dinner theater called, as you said, A Mystery at Daddy Joe's Midnight Chateau. And I have to tell you that people have just really been excited to see the show, and they've really been engaged in it because this show is a little bit different than our regular shows. Usually the audience comes and they just kind of sit down and watch us do our thing, but this show in particular is very interactive, so the audience actually becomes a part of the show. So, you know, when you come to see us on March 7th, you'll actually get to participate and get to be part of the show and, you know, try to figure out who done it. So it's something that really kind of brings the community together because each table sort of is a team. And so the team that gets the answer correct or who guesses the killer first correctly gets a prize. So it's a really fun night. People enjoy it.
So it's an interactive evening, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So people really enjoy that aspect of it. So
now you talk about your other plays, your other performances. How long have you been doing this?
Oh boy, we've been doing it for 10 plus years, I want to say. So we've been at it for a while. You know, our mission statement is what we do is not just entertainment, but it's ministry. So of course we want to entertain you. We want to make you laugh. We want you to have a good time. But at the end of the day, we also want to minister to you as well. And so that's what we aim to do during, through our shows, including this one. You know, some people may say, well, it's a murder mystery. How in the world do you minister? But trust me, we give you Jesus at the end. So yeah, you'll have a good time.
I'm talking about a murder mystery. They put Jesus on the cross, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So how did we? Absolutely did. Yeah. So how did we get here? How did we get to this murder mystery at Daddy's O? How did we get to this, huh?
Yes, so, you know, I actually wrote it towards the end of COVID, and I wanted to do something because we hadn't been able to do live theater because, you know, we couldn't gather. So I wanted to do something that really kind of brought people together and that people could have fun doing and, you know, they could socialize. So that's really kind of how it was birthed. I guess I had sort of the idea, you know, for a while, but it really kind of came to fruition through me really wanting to do something, you know, not just, you know, having people see actors acting, but really, you know, I wanted to engage the audience as well. And when people could be able to talk to each other and laugh and really engage with the actors. And so I wanted to do something really fun that people could really, you know, come away from saying, oh, you know, that was so fun. And, you know, we had a really good time and just really something to bring people together. So that's really kind of how it was birthed.
Miss Catherine Gore, the producer from a Kingdom Work production. They're getting ready, ladies and gentlemen, to present a whodunit murder mystery, a dinner dance theater event, murder mystery at Daddy Joe's Midnight Chateau. Now, lay out the evening a little bit for me, because I understand for $160 or for $180, there's a lot of stuff that folks will be getting: dinner, drinks. Tell us about
absolutely.
it.
So it is a dinner theater, which means that you will get a full course meal, dinner and dessert. There is a cocktail hour from 5:15 to 5:45, so you'll get to enjoy that. And there is VIP seating, for $180 for the VIP seating. And those who choose to do the VIP tickets, they'll get to walk a red carpet. They'll have a meet and greet with the cast. So, they'll get to meet us before the show. And they'll actually have special balcony seating. So they'll have special seating in the balcony to watch the entire show. So, they'll have a good time, definitely.
Okay, so mention the cast so the audience can understand who are some of these folks. Who's in the cast?
Sure. So these are some of my actors, and these are, I think they're some of the greatest actors out there. They've been with me for years. Ted Stokes, who plays our detective Steve Kelly. Roosevelt Abrams, who plays Otis Oates, one of our characters. Sherry Smith Richardson, Ursula Darius, and Robert Peppers. They're our main cast, and they do an excellent job. Talk about leaving you in stitches. You'll be laughing so hard when watching these individuals. Definitely,
Indeed.
They keep you on your toes. So they'll definitely keep you on your toes, as well as Cliff Jones. He's one of our actors as well.
It definitely seems that way to me, because I'm just caught up in this. I'm just caught up in this murder mystery. So, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday, March 7th, 2026, at 6 p.m. As a matter of fact, let me put it this way: at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. Let me put it this way: at 5 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, get there early enough for the cocktail hour. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss the full course meal that they're providing. You don't want to miss the delicious chicken and fish that they're providing, and the refreshment that they're providing. And at 6 p.m. the main attraction starts. The main event is on display. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you carry your laughing bag, because you're going to laugh until your belly busts. And make sure that you have your brain tuned up, because they're going to be asking you questions where you're going to be interacting with the cast. And you may just win something nice to take home with you. Now, Miss Catherine Gore, for folks listening to us and would like to engage themselves with this murder mystery, how can they obtain a ticket or two?
Sure, and you can actually go to our website, which is kingdomwork.info, and all of the information is on the website. Ticket link is right there. You can go ahead and purchase tickets that way. Again, kingdomwork.info, or you can call Diana Hume, who is the contact person for the church who is hosting the event. And you can reach her on 908-447-1670. Again, her name is Diana, and she'd be more than happy to help you get tickets, and you can call her and if you have any questions as well. And I just would like to mention, too, that the show is set in the 1920s, so, we encourage people, if you want to come dressed in your 1920s outfits, your flapper garb or whatever you may have, or, however you envision the 1920s, we encourage it. So, absolutely, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Folks, if you want to know a lot more about this murder mystery, you can call my cousin Diana Hume at 908-447-1670. That's 908-447-1670. Folks, I'm urging you, please go out and support this event, especially all my folks who are listening to me right now on 92.5 in the Bergen County area. Don't give me no excuse. You don't have to cross the bridge. You are already in New Jersey. Make a date and don't be late. Saturday, March 7th, 2026 at the United Methodist Church, located at 287 Park Avenue in Orange, New Jersey. An original whodunit murder mystery. A mystery at Daddy O's Joe Midnight Chateau. It is going to be off the chain. Your closing remarks this morning, producer Miss Catherine Gore. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to invite everybody to come out. It's going to be so much fun. You'll laugh. You'll get to put on your detective hats. And I want to see who out there has what it takes to find out who done it. So I'm excited to come and meet you and greet you. And I just want you to have a wonderful time when you come out, and I know that you will. So come on out and join us and have a blast with us.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the mystery will be solved that night. At the end of the night, you will find out who do it. Yeah, man, who done it. Please call Diana Hume at 908-447-1670. That's 908-447-1670. I wish you all the very best, Miss Gore. Thank you so much for getting up this morning and engaging the Groovin Radio listeners right here on Irie Jam Radio. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Go thank my cousin Diana Hume now, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
One love. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our community engagement segment. That was Miss Catherine Gore. She is the producer of this wonderful play. She is from Kingdom Work Production as they get ready to present the original Whodunit Murder Mystery. It's a dinner theater, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to be a full course evening. The event includes a full course meal, your choice, chicken or fish, some nice drinks, ladies and gentlemen, nice refreshment, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets are only $160. They have VIP seating, and that including meeting the cast. 908-447-1670. Before we go up to the top of the hour this morning, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news coming from ABC News 77. The Seattle Seahawks, they have now refused to visit the White House after their Super Bowl win. They have now rejected President Donald Trump's invitation. I wonder why. I do wonder why. CNN reported Thursday that Florida lawmakers have now voted to rename the Palm Beach airport after Trump. Florida lawmakers passed a bill on Thursday to rename Palm Beach International Hotel after President Donald Trump. Let the renaming begin, ladies and gentlemen. The next song I'm about to play was released in late 2025. It comes from Agent Sasko, the man who attended Camperdown High School. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're live on the Tony Culture Time app. We're also live this morning. And I'll say to you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, Groovin Radio is live on Tony Culture Time's YouTube channel also. So please engage yourself. We're live right there. Let me do this and find Agent Sasko. It is called Reggae Proverbs. Maxi D, good morning. Follow me now. That's right. Jenny, you're all the way in Central Florida. Good morning. Hey.
Sorry for my dog, look out for your bite. If certain look in you, just prepare for your fright. No fight, no fire with no fire. Too long, no make a right.
That's right.
When you see them with them gold, no draw no knife.
Hey.
If you're living by the gun, that will take your life. Instead of if you and quarrel, better you save your vice. Remember, the empty barrel make the nice. And furthermore, you say no only right when you just keep a light. You know but one when you show up, so no bother with the hype. The monkey climbing in everybody's sight. Member say time is the informer.
Indeed.
Pressure goes the pipe, so
right.
Nobody's.
Hey.
You can't hear how you so obvious.
Oh, you're so obvious.
Listen, no bother with the obvious.
Hey.
It give you harder days. Tell you say no bother with the obvious. You can't hear how you so obvious. Me say no bother with the obvious. Nowadays, can't hear you want to feel. They want to know. Show me your company, I'll tell you who you are.
That's
Some
right.
say you a janko from a you and them apart.
Hey.
If you a par with Kwaku, that mean you are the short. So try to make them hold you in a the war. You never hear say, puss and dog them, now the same look.
That's
so
right.
when you want your brethren in a the bar, don't bother follow the bag of drinking and go jumping.
After the 10 o'clock hour, we got news from JIS. It is Groovin Radio, live on Irie Jam Radio.
Hey, patience is a virtue. Creep before you walk. If you want everything, you lose all. Oh, you too hard.
I also want you to pay attention because the president said that you're going to need an ID to vote in the midterm election. What is he trying to do? Subvert the election? Pay attention, folks. It's Groovin Radio on a Saturday morning. Back in a few.
Can't hear you want to feel. Hey, watch out, what a pain in the dark. More show in the life.
Here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
Groovin Radio.
Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Groovin Radio with the original Ras Clem.
This is what everybody's talking about.
Hi, New York. This is King Jamin, and you're listening to Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
Hey, this is your girl Sugar, and right now you're grooving with Groovin Radio. You don't know Ras Clem.
My heart's racing, I'm shaking, listening to the songs you're playing. Irie Jam, you are no ordinary station. Yo, what's up? This is Alaine. Keep listening to Irie Jam.
From Flatbridge to the George Washington Bridge. From the top of the Empire State Building to the Blue Mountain Peak of New York City. It's Irie Jam.
WQHT 97.1 FM HG3.
Give praise to Rastafari, and all praises unto Jah. Yeah, Irie Jam a conqueror. Blessed love, this is Lucian Jah Messenger, and it's Irie Jam keeping the music alive.
This is Alpha Blondie with his brother Ras Clem on Groovin Radio. Some call him Allah, some call him Adonai, some call him Jehovah, Jesus, Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, but he's one. Yes, he is one, like a tree with many branches, many in one. Hallelujah, God is great. Hallelujah, God is one. Big up, I love you.
Blessed love, this is Dwayne Stevenson from Augustown. You didn't know? Anytime I'm in a New York state of mind, I have to always tune in to Groovin Radio. So I say, keep it grooving, night or day. So we play.
Sing it. Tyrus Riley representing for Groovin Radio, you know? All girls who are tight and all man go on, bless up. I'm a grooving, listening to Groovin Radio. Come on, man.
Andrea, who baked this fruitcake?
What you mean? I did.
But you can bake.
Yes, I can.
But when you find the time?
Didn't need any. It's Annie Lou Cake Mix.
Annie Lou Cake Mix. Just add eggs and butter. Mix for 3 minutes, then pop in the oven for a real Jamaican fruitcake at half the price of baking from scratch. This is not cake mix. It's who really bake it for you.
Annie Lou. And there's Annie Lou soaked fruits if you want to bake your own cake from scratch.
Annie Lou Jamaican fruit cake mix. All of the flavor, none of the fuss.
Looking for a medical doctor? Hey, look no further. Dr. France Jasmine for all your medical needs. Dr. Jasmine specializes in immigration medical examination form I-693, citizenship test exemption form N-648, DOT certified for medical examination for all CDL drivers, including bus and truck drivers, pre-employment examination, school medical examination. Call today, don't delay. Call Dr. Jasmine right away. 718-994-8932. Located 3919 Dyer Avenue off 233rd Street in the Bronx. Dr. France Jasmine, board certified.
The newly renovated dining room at the Door Caribbean Restaurant is something to talk about. Talk about being exquisite, elegant, and truly sophisticated. It's a must-see and something you'll be talking about for a long time. The Door Caribbean Restaurant, because you deserve nothing less.
Lord, me picnic on all the way to Missouri. I mean, I don't know how him will eat at daytime because him love him banana chips, him love him bun and cheese, and I don't know which part of the world I'm going to find them the same thing there.
Relax, Mary, what you talk about? This handy boy got the corner shop and make him harder what he want.
What you want to talk about corner shop? You know, see the boy there all the way in the middle America, back a God back. You think we there Jamaica?
No, darling. Get with the times, man. Modern technology we are talking about. The corner shop online. KingstonCornerShop.com.
What?
Kingston Corner with a K shop.com. And him just harder the thing them and him ship it right to him destination. So him can get up a man in time and make him little plantain porridge. For lunch, him can eat some bully beef with little honey and cut up in there. And then for dinner, him can boil the great Jamaican cock soup.
So him really want me home so much.
So say it with me and set your heart at ease.
KingstonCornerShop.com.
How are you celebrating Black Excellence Month? Join us for the annual Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Awards fundraising VIP Black Tie Gala, the premier networking celebration for today's business leaders, Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 at Terrace on the Park, Queens, New York. We honor our unsung heroes and heroines across African American and Caribbean communities and the global African diaspora, the movers, the shakers, the visionaries, featuring industry icons like David Levy, Rocking You, Lifetime Achievement in Caribbean Radio Broadcasting and Global Citizen Icon Honoree, His Majesty King Osindeyo Kwasi Akufo III of Ghana, and more. Early bird tickets are ending soon. Visit ygbawards.org. That's ygbawards.org and click Purchase Ticket. This isn't just an event, it's a movement.
Wait the town and tell the people.
It's a newly renovated VP record store located at 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. We have a wide array of music for you to choose from: reggae, soca, gospel, and rocksteady. We also stock specialty gift items, arts, books, CDs, and vinyl. And for that trendy individual, check out our rhythm-driven clothing. Visit us today, VP Record Store, 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. Open Monday to Friday, 11 to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. Call us today, 718-297-5802. That's 718-297-5802.
Brand new!
This is your girl, the Caribbean Soca Queen, Allison Hines, and you're locked on to Groovin Radio with Ras Clem.
Hello, reggae fans. This is Toots from Toots and the Meters saying tune in. One time. Hey, let's get grooving.
That is so right, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Groovin Radio Experience. My name is Ras Clem, and I welcome you back to the second hour, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move any further, thank yous are in order. Let me say thank you to Christopher Martin. His music was presented, yes, in our musical segment this morning that was brought to you by your favorite online store, that is Kingston Corner Shop. So the big deal singer, yes, Christopher Martin, is music this morning right here in our first hour in our musical presentation. That was followed by our community engagement segment where the producer of this murder mystery, Miss Catherine Gore, she joined us this morning to talk about the big event coming up on Saturday, March 7th. Yes, indeed, it's a murder mystery. It's a play, ladies and gentlemen, taking place inside the United Methodist Church in Orange, New Jersey, 287 Park Avenue in Orange, New Jersey. For more information, call Miss Diana Hume at 908-447-1670. That is 908-447-1670. You heard a brand new song from the one and only Agent Sasko at the top of the 9 o'clock, at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. It's called Reggae Proverbs, ladies and gentlemen. Up next will be the news, and you, the listeners, let me say a big thank you. Once again, Groovin Radio is now live on the Tony Culture Times YouTube channel also, so you can go there and actually listen to the entire Groovin Radio presentation every Saturday morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony Culture. As I welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen, let me now quickly remind you that Groovin Radio comes your way courtesy of your favorite online store, KingstonCornerShop.com. Corner with a K, www.KingstonCornerShop.com. Keeping the Jamaican and the Caribbean families and communities connected to their roots and culture with some classic Jamaican and Caribbean products. www.KingstonCornerShop.com. Groovin Radio is also brought to you by, yes, Irie Jam Radio. The legacy continues. 30 plus years of radio broadcasts here in the Caribbean diaspora to advertise on Irie Jam Radio and keep Irie Jam going. It's 1-800-277-1462. That is 1-800-277-1462. 1462. Groovin Radio also comes your way courtesy of Bullseye Marketing and Promotion. If you have a product you'd like to market, if you have an event that you'd like to market, Bullseye Marketing and Promotion is here for you. 347-449-7848. That is 347-449-7848. Once again, you're listening to the Groovin Radio Experience live on Irie Jam Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also live on ReggaeKingRadio.com, IslandFlavorRadio.com, 92.5 FM in Bergen County, New Jersey. We're now joined by the team at 98.9 FM. The Future FM team in the Bronx, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, New Rochelle, and lower parts of Westchester County. We're live on the Tony Culture YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Culture Time app, and the WB Radio app, Irie Jam Radio app. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Up 97.1 FM HD3 family. As I said before, the news is up next. And the news this morning is brought to you by the Young, Gifted, and Black Awards, coming up this week inside Terrace on the Park. NBC News reported this week that actor Eric Dane has now passed away at age 53. He was suffering from ALS, ladies and gentlemen. Widely known for portraying Dr. Mark Slohan on Grey's Anatomy. And Cal Jacob, the television actor, died this week at age 53. Rest in peace. So many people are leaving us, man, and they're leaving us at all different kind of age. Fox 5 is reporting that two former New York City detectives, former New York City detective pled guilty to a COVID-19 related fraud scheme. Yes, a former NYP detective pled guilty this past week to wire fraud conspiracy in connection to a COVID-19 scheme. But I'm going to say this. So many people are going to end up in jail because of what they did with the COVID-19 monies that they got. Pay attention. The longest nursing strike in New York history is over. Yes, a tentative deal was reached by the folks at New York Presbyterian Hospital. They reached a tentative deal Thursday night going into Friday morning. This ends a 6 weeks strike. 6 weeks they were walking the picket line. Now, there's a lot of folks who wanted the release of the Epstein file. And now there's a lot of folks who would wish that the Epstein file will go back to where it was. One folk in particular, as CNN is reporting, is Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon pushed very hard for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Then he was in them. Now, silence. Silence from Steve Bannon. There's no public appearance really from Steve Bannon since the Justice Department released the records that showed that there was a close connection between Mr. Bannon and Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. Now, in Jamaica, we're calling for the release, we're calling for the release of the Peter King file now. At the same time, President Donald Trump is calling for the release of what? He's calling for the release of UFOs. It's time for the news.
News, GIS News, a roundup of government lead stories for the week.
The government is moving to integrating crime fighting, disaster preparedness, and border protection into a unified strategy aimed at bolstering stability and economic growth. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said the country can no longer treat violent crime, natural disasters, and border threats as separate policy areas. While applauding the historic reduction in murders achieved last year, Dr. Holness noted that last year's Category 5 hurricane exposed how climate shocks can strain the country's security apparatus.
Climate shocks are no longer episodic emergencies. They are now permanent features of our national security environment. After Melissa, there can be no return to a security model that treats climate risks as peripheral. Beyond the humanitarian dimension, disasters represent strategic shocks They redirect resources, stress institutional capacity, disrupt national logistics, and create windows of opportunity for illicit traffic and irregular migration.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is moving to assess the structural integrity of 105 health centers damaged in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the assessment will determine what repair work is needed, as well as the costs associated with repairing each of the centers.
We're hoping to conduct that arrangement over the next 3 months, and then the intention is to engage a range of contractors with very specific directives around the rebuild. The intention is to rebuild guided by the protocols of our smart health facility, which we have a number of health centers that we have done so with.
The government will be procuring 100 brand new school buses during the upcoming 2026-27 financial year. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz made the announcement while providing an update on the National Rural School Bus Program at a press conference on Tuesday.
Ministry already started Phase 2, which originally was going to be 150 buses in the upcoming financial year 26-27. But in discussions with the Ministry of Finance, that has been reduced to 100. But here is the better news. It will be 100 new school buses.
And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has commended corporate company Sagicor for its staging of this year's Sigma charity run, which raised $152 million to support the rebuilding of 5 schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa. The schools are Salt Marsh Primary and Infant School, Mayfield Primary and Infant School, Hopefield High School, Green Pond High School, and Little London High School. Dr. Holness said the initiative continues to demonstrate what is possible when corporate partners and citizens work together to build resilience, strengthen education, and support community recovery.
The western end of the island was hit by the 3rd most powerful storm ever produced by the earth. It destroyed lives and livelihood. But for today, we are running or walking for the children who, though we have returned them to school, many of them are in classrooms under conditions that if we knew, if we saw it, our hearts would bleed. And so your participation and your contribution will help us to recover significantly.
Those were some of the top stories making news this week. I'm Joy Kelly.
The GOJ News Recap, weekends right here on this station. A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
How are you celebrating Black Excellence Month? Join us for the annual Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Awards fundraising VIP Black Tie Gala, the premier networking celebration for today's business leaders, Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 at Terrace on the Park, Queens, New York. We honor our unsung heroes and heroines across African American and Caribbean communities and the global African diaspora, the movers, the shakers, the visionaries, featuring industry icons like David Levy, Rocking You. Lifetime Achievement in Caribbean Radio Broadcasting and Global Citizen Icon honoree His Majesty King Osindeyo Kwasi Akufo III of Ghana, and more. Early bird tickets are ending soon. Visit ygbawards.org. That's ygbawards.org and click purchase ticket. This isn't just an event, it's a movement.
And tell the people.
It's a newly renovated VP record store located at 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. We have a wide array of music for you to choose from: reggae, soca, gospel, and rocksteady. We also stock specialty gift items, arts, books, CDs, and vinyl. And for that trendy individual, check out our rhythm-driven clothing. Visit us today, VP Record Store, 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. Open Monday to Friday, 11 to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. Call us today, 718-297-5802. That's 718-297-5802.
Brand new!
Lord, me picnic gone all the way to Missouri. I mean, no know how him a eat at daytime because him love him banana chips, him love him bun and cheese, and I don't know which part of the world them a go find them the same thing there.
Relax, Mary, what you talk about? This send the boy got the corner shop and make him harder what he want.
Oh, you what talk about corner shop? You know see the boy there all the way in Middle America back a God back. You think we there Jamaica?
No, darling. Get with the times, man. Modern technology we are talking about. The corner shop online. KingstonCornerShop.com.
What?
Kingston Corner with a K shop.com. And him just order the thing them and them ship it right to him destination. So him can get up a man in time and make him little plantain porridge. For lunch, him can eat some bully beef with little onion cut up in there. And then for dinner, him can boil the great Jamaican cock soup.
So him really want me home so much.
So say it with me and set your heart at ease.
KingstonCornerShop.com.
Looking for a medical doctor? Hey, look no further. Dr. France Jasmine for all your medical needs. Dr. Jasmine specializes in immigration medical examination form I-693, citizenship test exemption form N-648, DOT certified for medical examination for all CDL drivers, including bus and truck drivers, pre-employment examination, school medical examination. Call today, don't delay. Call Dr. Jasmine right away. 718-994-8932. Located 3919 Dyer Avenue off 233rd Street in the Bronx. Dr. France Jasmine, board certified.
The newly renovated dining room at the Door Caribbean Restaurant is something to talk about. Talk about being exquisite, elegant, and truly sophisticated. It's a must-see and something you'll be talking about for a long time. The Door Caribbean Restaurant, because you deserve nothing less.
Andrea, is who baked this fruitcake?
What you mean? I did.
But you can bake.
Yes, I can.
But when you find the time?
Didn't need any. It's Annie Lou Cake Mix.
Annie Lou Cake Mix. Just add eggs and butter. Mix for 3 minutes, then pop in the oven for a real Jamaican fruitcake at half the price of baking from scratch. This is not cake mix. It's who really bake it for you.
Annie Lou. And there's Annie Lou soaked fruits if you want to bake your own cake from scratch.
Annie Lou Jamaican Fruitcake Mix. All of the flavor, none of the fuss.
It's fresh, it's fun, it's factual. It's loaded with delicious chunks of what's happening in the world of entertainment today. It's your weekly Jamaica 50 E-Report.
Ready?
Welcome. You have now entered into the world of...
And now, coming to you live from New York City, your entertainment guru, Anthony Turner.
Anthony Turner.
When they go low, we go high.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your entertainment report with your entertainment guru, as usually. But this morning, ladies and gentlemen, our entertainment guru is on assignment. He is traveling, so the duties belongs to me. So this morning, in our entertainment report, and your entertainment report this morning is brought to you by the LJDR Davis Family Foundation. They're presenting tonight, Beyond Valentine's, Hearts United for a Great Cause. It's taking place inside the Renaissance Banquet Hall, located at 247-11 Francis Lewis Boulevard in Fun City, Queens. All proceed is to support their 2026 medical mission. To support this event, please call Dr. Butner, OD, at 718-810-2553. That is 718-810-2553. This coming Wednesday, it is all about the Young, Gifted, and Black Entrepreneurial Award. It is taking place inside Terrace and the Park. So we say good morning this morning to producer Mr. Calgary. He is the founder and CEO of the Young, Gifted, and Black Gala. Ladies and gentlemen, please support Carl Gray. Call him today at 347-875-7601. That's 347-875-7601. On the 7th of March, it is going to be all about an original whodunit murder mystery. A murder mystery at Daddy O's Joe Midnight Chateau taking place at 287 Park Avenue in Orange, New Jersey, the United Methodist Church. For more information on this wonderful play, please call Diana Hume at 908-447-1670. That's 908-447-1670. I am going down the line this morning. The Rossi's Brothers and Sisters Foundation, Bossies, they're getting ready to present their Easter fish fry, and this will take place on Thursday, April 2nd. Yes, and this will be taking place in the Boogie Down Bronx, 3458 Borla Avenue. For more information on this fish fry to support Rossi's High School, please call President of their foundation, Mr. Troy Malcolm, at 646-872-7879. Troy at 646-872-7879. St. Andrew Technical High School is getting ready to celebrate their 65th anniversary in Jamaica. 1 week of activities, ladies and gentlemen. For more information, and this is in April. From April 12th onwards. Please call please call Melbourne at 516-661-4544. That's Melbourne Newell, 516-661-4544, ladies and gentlemen. Team Jamaica Bickle, yes indeed. Their big Labor of Love Gala taking place on Sunday, April 12th inside the Crest Hollow Country Club over there on Long Island to support our athletes coming up for the Penn Relays. Please call the team at Team Jamaica Bickle at 347-678-3546. That's 347-678-3546. Going down the line here, ladies and gentlemen, we go up to Hartford, Connecticut, as the West Indian Social Club, Hartford Inc., they're celebrating 76 years this year, Saturday, April 18th, and this will honoring their our journey and igniting our future. This will take place inside the People's Ballroom, located at 3340 Main Street in Hartford, Connecticut. For more information, please call Miss Francis at 860-938-1196. That's 860-938-1196. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the American Foundation for the University of the West Indies, their Legacy Gala continues, and this one is going to be taking place on Friday, April 17th, inside 583 Park Avenue. For more information, please call Miss Anne-Marie Grant, their Executive Director, at 212-759-8095. That's 212-759-8095. I also understand that James from the Jajeri Foundation, they're getting ready to host their event that week. Need to get the information on that one, James. And there we have it. Nope. There's one more. This one is early, but I have to mention Dream for Jamaica. Dream for Jamaica, their gala is coming up on Saturday, June 26th, and I will be talking a lot more about it. This is Groovin Radio, and that brings us to the end of our entertainment report. Anthony Turner, ladies and gentlemen, is on assignment. Up next is going to be Mic Check, sparking global changes, remembering the Reverend Jesse Jackson, this morning right here on Groovin Radio. And there is a book I would like you to purchase. It's by Abby Phillips, Jesse Jackson, and the Fight for Black Political Power. A Dream Deferred. Morning, Abby Phillips from CNN. She got Trinidadian roots, folks. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. Wake when you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me.
That's right.
Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we could do it if we all lend a hand.
As we keep hope alive.
The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds.
That's right.
Surely things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better.
And ladies and gentlemen, we say that every Saturday morning right here on Groovin Radio. This world will not get any better if we just let it be. And it brings us to our featured segment this morning, Mic Check. We woke up to the somber news earlier this week that the world have lost the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. And he was one of those who tried his very best to make this world a better place. You may be wondering, if you have never, you may be wondering, who is the Reverend Jesse Jackson? Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, the American civil rights activist, politician. He was an ordained Baptist minister, a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and James Bevel. Reverend Jesse Jackson twice ran for president, in 1984 and in 1988. Reverend Jackson was born on the 8th of October 1941. Sadly, on February 17, 2026, in his home in Chicago, Reverend Jesse Jackson died with his family surrounding him. This morning, we're going to be joined by a legendary journalist. The man once worked for CBS. The man, a lifelong member, I will say, of Abyssinian Baptist Church. And if you go to the Schaumburg, you can't miss him, where there is black culture and black history. His name is Mr. Bob Gore. He was also one of Jesse Jackson's campaign manager. So who best to talk about as we remember the Reverend Jesse Jackson than Mr. Bob Gore? Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning to your audience, and what a blessing it is once again to be with you.
Indeed, I thank you so much, Bob. And when I saw the news earlier this week, I sat and I thought about it, and I said, I would like to do something remembering the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. You knew Jesse Jackson. You worked with Jesse Jackson. Tell our listeners, Bob, who was Jesse Jackson?
Well, I had the good fortune of actually meeting him during my teenage years when I was a volunteer with the Chicago Freedom Movement, along with Dr. King and his staff from SCLC, and Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson was there. I believe at the time when we first met, he was in seminary. But he was also very active, as he had been, through the South and organizing in Chicago, and particularly working to create pathways to economic empowerment. Mm-hmm. And as luck would have it, my best friend was his babysitter. And so I was always with him at his home because his lovely wife, Jacqueline, always fed us. So I had an early insight to him, which continued throughout my life, I'm pleased to say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
Well, it turned out that as a person in the movement, throughout my life, our paths crossed. And finally, in 1983, when he was organizing his first run for the presidency of the United States, I was given the unique opportunity to be the campaign manager in New York State.
Wow.
And it was an extraordinary experience. I wish my words were adequate to capture the emotion and the dynamism that existed at that time behind his campaign, because it was a transformative experience, not only to those who watched it all unfold on television and in the news, but to be involved actively, open doors and answered hope that had been there inside of all of us. Maybe even unknown hope. But when we saw it, we knew he was the person, and this was the time. 1983 began his campaign for 1984.
Wow. Born in Greensville, South Carolina. We're talking about 1941. If you could paint a picture, Bob, if you could paint a picture, and I know you weren't around in those days, but your connection with the movement and Reverend Jesse Jackson and all of that, if you could paint a picture about a little boy coming out of Greenville, South Carolina, and running for president of the United States, I mean, how did Jesse Jackson got here? Because that was a huge move coming off the heels of Shirley Chisholm, who also ran for president as a black woman. Huh? Talk to us about this, Bob.
Who was the first? Well, let me give all of your listeners a point of reference that they all should listen to. Jesse's 1988 Democratic Convention speech. The 1988 Convention speech, go back, listen to that, and you will get a impassioned walk through his life and times up to that point. But back to your question. We're talking about when he was born. First of all, he was adopted. He was taken in by his grandmother, I believe it was. And Jesse was like other black people living in apartheid South in the 40s and in the 50s and obviously earlier on. You were born into a world where the primary professions were sharecropping and or keeping house for other people. Everybody worked in the fields at some point, and probably in South Carolina there were probably two main crops: tobacco and cotton. And so in those days, in the world that was totally segregated, everything that you encountered from birth until death in the apartheid South was segregated. So that he undoubtedly had the experience of working in the fields. Long days, low pay, hard back-breaking work. But in those days, everybody in the family was called upon to support the income of the family. And undoubtedly, the schools were the small 1, 2, 3 room schools, overcrowded. Only used books from the other schools in the district that were discards were available to those students. And chances are, you didn't have much chance to go very far in school. But through it all, there came a young man who would go on to break ground, open new territory, not just for African Americans, and not just for America. Jesse's political career touched open doors worldwide. And we could talk about some of those achievements, but coming from where his humble beginnings, to registering 2 million new people on the voter rolls, catapulted him to a true contender by 1988. Go figure.
Indeed.
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 Not expected to live. and climb to the top of politics in America.
Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the voice of Mr. Bob Gore. He was Jesse Jackson's campaign manager here in New York when Jesse Jackson first ran for president, launched his presidential bid in 1983. Journalist Bob Gore. You know, Bob, I was listening to something. I was listening to a speech from the Reverend Jesse Jackson this week, and you mentioned Jesse Jackson being adopted. And, you know, it moved me because Jesse spoke about he know what it is to have no name. He said, my name is not Jesse Jackson. It's a given name. I was adopted. Right. He said, I was born in a place where I was born in pretty much something like a shack. He said, no running water, no bathroom, and all of that. A pit toilet on the outside. And this man rose to prominence. Yeah? He became a part of the movement, a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King. No, an ordained Baptist minister, Bob Gore. And I asked someone this week, the role of the Baptist church, or the role of churches, but I say Baptist church in this conversation, the role of the Baptist churches in the civil rights movement. And what a time that was, Bob. Share your thoughts with us on that, and the Reverend.
The modern civil rights movement, and you can peg it from the late 40s or to the mid 50s, depending on which protests might give you a starting point. But without the presence of the black church, the movement could not have evolved as it did. Let me just give you one corner of the conversation right now. Dr. King's organization, SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, was an organization that Jesse was very much a part of that worked in movements in a variety of southern and northern cities. In each case, whether we're talking Birmingham, whether we're talking Montgomery, whether we're talking Chicago, whether we're talking Detroit, the movements that they joined had already been started by exclusively or substantially supported by black churches, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. As a matter of fact, the chapter heads of the main movement campaigns that we know about from history were all led by local black preachers who reached out to Dr. King and brought them in. The black church is the only independent, resourced organization where the leadership is paid and supported by black membership that enables and empowers them to speak truth to power, as we say. And it's those independent voices that rose up in the South that were able to challenge Jim Crow in spite of threats against their lives. They were able to do that because they had congregational support. They didn't work for white people, so they could speak against white nationalism. And so without the black church's role, even till today, much of our progressive activity would not happen. And I say this to a lot of my friends who want to criticize the black church. I say to them, or I ask the question, how many black organizations do you have in your town or in your community that actually have an address? Not something online, not something that is out of town. Where can you go and speak to a person when there is a grievance that has a location that's there? In the case of the church that you and I share at Abyssinian, 7 days a week.
No, the picture that I painted about where the Reverend Jesse Jackson was born and his early beginnings as a young boy who was adopted, his mother, a teenage mother, you know, who would imagine that an individual such as the Reverend Jesse Jackson, looking at his background, would have gotten to where he got, he got close. He got real close, Bob Gore, to winning that nomination. And especially when he went up against Michael Dukakis from Massachusetts. He got real close. Who would imagine?
Well, sometimes you win when you're not first.
Mm-hmm.
And in this instance, the former President Barack Obama acknowledged that had it not been for Jesse, he probably would not have ever become president. He stood on Jesse's shoulders.
Yes.
When and don't forget that most politics is what they call retail.
Mm-hmm.
So that the people who really won, those folks who ended up being on the city councils around the country, those people who went to state legislatures, those folks who went to Congress, on the coattails of Jesse when he ran in 84 and 88. And because of those new voters on the rolls, there were political leadership emerged across the country, not just African American and not just male. So it opened the doors for women. It opened the doors for other ethnic elected officials, and it also shifted the whole power thinking about the capability of black people, because he was the most visible. Yes, Dukakis was there, and Dukakis had come from Massachusetts, and he had, visibility as a governor. But maybe I'm a little prejudiced, but I think Jesse had the highest visibility in 88 particularly, because he was able to not only be representative of progressive thinking in the U.S., but he took it to the international arena. He opened doors and made firsts that others were not able to accomplish. Black or white, Jesse did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Groovin Radio. We are in our featured segment, Mic Check, Sparking Global Changes. The conversation this morning, remembering the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. He lived for 84 years. He gave it all. You're listening to the voice of his one-time campaign manager here in New York, Mr. Bob Gore, as we remember Reverend Jesse Jackson, who joined the ancestors on the 17th of February, 2026. I understand and I know that New York State is a democratic state at large. But walk us back to 1984, Bob Gore. What was it like? I think back then Ronald Reagan was president of the United States.
That's correct.
And Jesse Jackson was a vocal critic of Ronald Reagan. Walk us back to 1983, moving into 1984. You're out there on the campaign trail with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. What was it like, Bob Gore?
Well, I smile to myself whenever I think about part of my job was to work with local campaigns throughout New York State, Buffalo, Ithaca, Albany, Westchester. So I was all over the state. And for the very first time, people were energized to not only think about politics, but to organize and to run as delegates in support of Jesse Jackson. See, the way the national campaigns are structured in the U.S., you run in congressional districts, so that each congressional district will have a slate of candidates, and among those candidates will be the presidential candidate. So there were people who ran as delegates for Jesse Jackson and for other offices because they saw all this new energy that was coming into the electorate, and the fact that for the first time black people were energized. So it was really a movement kind of enthusiasm I was feeling. It's something that you almost had to be there to fully experience, but it was a first. So at the grassroots level, in all the cities across New York State, were people who were community organizers, people involved in churches and civic groups who never thought about politics, who now saw a pathway and was so motivated to get involved. And, once you feel that enthusiasm, it never goes away. It maybe gets expressed down the road in other fashions. But Jesse opened the door that was not even foreseen. And then, he made some headlines. Probably among his most significant, beyond his presidential run, was when he brought back a naval aviator who'd been shot down over Syria by the name of Lieutenant Robert Goodman. And it turned out that Ronald Reagan and the State Department were unable to retrieve this particular flyer. And there was a public outcry because Americans wanted him back at any cost. And it turned out that the State Department was unsuccessful. But Jesse, along with supportive clergy and relations, abroad, particularly in the Middle East, were able to bring back the naval flyer. And even Ronald Reagan had to salute Jesse.
If I can recall, Bob, he was invited to the White House when he came home. Bob, as you look back on Jesse's career and you look back being around, Reverend Jesse Jackson, the likes of Dr. Martin Luther King, in 1984, and I know we weren't too far removed from the civil rights and voting rights and Fair Housing Act and all that. What were some of the conversations taking place around Jesse Jackson's first run in 1984? What were some of the conversations taking place, if you can recall?
Yeah, I recall, quite fondly. Our church was actively involved in voter registration in 1982, 83. In those days, we would set up on Saturday holding tables and register folks on the street. Abyssinian's project was called Project Vote Abyssinian. And so there was a pent-up demand. And, we didn't know that there was going to be a Jesse. We didn't know there was going to be a national candidate. What we did know was that voter registration was the key to opening up opportunities for other electoral candidates. In fact, I don't think anybody thought there was going to be a presidential candidate that time around. But it was because of voter registration campaigns that were happening around the country, according to Reverend Jackson himself, was the reason why he decided to run. Because without the initiative of putting new people on the roll, new candidacy stood, a scant chance of succeeding. But, it was a time when there was not only pent-up demand, but an eagerness to reach out and make an expression of self-determination. You're right, it wasn't long after the Civil Rights Movement, but we really wanted to take an action, a stand that was going to pay off for us. Now, there was no collective national strategy. There was no, there was no national leadership expressing this, but we in Harlem at the time felt it, and others felt it everywhere. Now, of course, Jesse's campaign, and it started in '83, came on the heels of Harold Washington's big win in Chicago. And if you recall, Harold Washington was one of the most fabled. Well, he was the strongest black voice in politics at the time, national. Though he ran locally for mayor, he happened to be the kind of representation that just resonated with people around the country. So there were a number of factors that were there. And really, Jesse became the symbol of that pent-up expectation and that desire for change.
Wow.
He was a product of that. When he came to Abyssinian, he said, it's because of the work that you all are doing here and what similar churches are doing that gives me the hope that we can do this thing. That we had no money. We had no national structure. And certainly, the naysayers were everywhere, right?
Indeed.
But Jesse, and there's no question, it was divinely driven. No question in my mind.
You know, as we move up to the top of the hour, you mentioned Abyssinian quite a few times, the house of worship that we're in on a Sunday. You know, the likes of Adam Clayton Powell Sr., Adam Clayton Powell Jr., you know, you talk about the Reverend Calvin Butts, some very powerful individual. Abyssinian Baptist Church is a place where Jesse Jackson has walked through those doors on many occasions. And I was proud this week to see our current pastor, the Reverend Kevin R. Jackson, on Johnson. CBS actually reached out to the Reverend Johnson to remember the Reverend Jesse Jackson. You know, I mentioned the Schaumburg Center also, and that's a place where you are grounded, and that's like your third home. Your home is your first home, Abyssinian is your second home, and the Schaumburg is your third home. Between the Schaumburg and Abyssinian Baptist Church, there is a lot of history there surrounding the Reverend Jesse Jackson. And I mentioned three individuals, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. And Sr. and the Reverend Calvin Butts. Powerful individuals who also knew Reverend Jesse Jackson, huh?
Yes. And there was yet another who, even above the towering figures you mentioned, had an even greater influence on his life, and that was Reverend Dr. Samuel D. Witt Proctor, who was president of North Carolina A&T when Jesse appeared with no application, no financial support, and just appeared at the school looking for a way to continue his education. And he met Dr. Proctor, president of the school at the time. And Dr. Proctor said to him, I'm going to make it possible for you to come to school. I only ask you that you do something to help our people as you go along the way. Now, who could have foreseen what that opportunity Dr. Proctor opened up for Jesse would result in? And point of fact, Jesse spoke at Dr. Proctor's funeral, and the transcript of that in a book that I was proud to have published, We've Come This Far, recounting that journey that began in North Carolina A&T because of Dr. Proctor that led to his presidency. He drew a straight line at the funeral and eulogizing Dr. Proctor. It was a straight line because without Dr. Proctor, none of what we know today would have likely occurred.
Wow, amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the voice of Mr. Bob Gore. Yes, one-time campaign manager for the Reverend Jesse Jackson when he first ran for president in 1984. Those campaigns started in 1983. We're going to break away from the Irie Jam family, and we're going to come back at on the other side of the hour. You know, I was privileged to be a part of a conversation inside Abyssinian Baptist Church with journalist Abby Phillips and our current pastor, Dr. Reverend Kevin R. Johnson. And she wrote a book, A Dream Deferred, Jesse Jackson and the Fight for Black Political Power. When we come back after the top of the 11 o'clock hour, Bob, I want to talk briefly about this before we wrap up our conversation this morning, because we have lost a true giant. America have lost an iconic figure in the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. Sleep well, Jesse Jackson. Sleep well as we wake up the world. Good morning, Erwin Clare, and good morning, and thanks to the Irie Jam family. I'll join you on the other side of the hour, Bob. Stay where you are. Stay right where you are. Errol Melvin. Al Melvin and the Blue Notes with lead singer Theodore Prendergast to close out this segment, and then we come back after the top of the hour. It's Groovin Radio on a Saturday morning. It's I, Ras Clem. Stay engaged, get informed, and stay one step ahead. It's the experience, the Groovin Radio experience, that it is. So wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Jesse woke up the world.
No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better.
It just won't.
If we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, girl. Just you and me.
Jesse Jackson made this world a better place.
Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well.
That's right.
They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we could do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now.
Just you and me. I need your help, folks. I need your help to change this world. I can't do it alone. I need a helping hand. That's right. Can't do it alone. Wake up! That's right. No more sleeping in bed.
Wake up!
It's the wake up call.
Everybody need a little help, y'all.
I do, you know.
Need a little help. Say it for me, some help, y'all. Change the world. What it used to be.
That's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome you back to part 2 of Mic Check right here on Groovin Radio. In the background is the sounds of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. I need your help. I need your help to make this world a better place. And this morning, we are remembering civil rights icon, civil rights activist, American politician, and ordained Baptist minister, the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, who joined the ancestors this past week at age 84. My special guest this morning is Jesse Jackson's former campaign manager here in New York State when he ran for president in 1984, Mr. Bob Gore. Think about a man who came, his ancestors were enslaved Africans. And just remember, and I say this all the time, and people say to me, how could you say that, Clem, that no slaves came to America? I'll say it again. No slaves came to America. They enslaved us, and then they brought us to America, and then they turned us into slave. I just can't imagine, and I get goosebumps sometimes when I talk about this. Having an individual like a Jesse Jackson running for president in 1984. And I watched something this week, and I watched when Shirley Chisholm launched her presidential campaign as the first black woman to run for president of this country. And she said, yes, it's our time. America was ready. Yes, and she shook up the world. But Jesse Jackson really shook up the world when he ran for president twice 1984 and 1988. Bob Gore, welcome back. Bob? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, and good morning again to your fine audience.
Yes, Bob, just think about this, and I want you to just say a few words about this. Just think about this. At one stage in the United States of America, we were what, 1/5 of human beings? That's what they dubbed us. 1/5 of human beings. We were the only folks. Black folks were the only folks who were cattle slave. Remember this, folks. The others weren't cattle slave. We were the only ones who were cattle slave. And to have such a person like the Reverend Jesse Jackson shaking up the world in the 80s by running for president, twice. And he was a force, Bob Gore. He was a true force in those two presidential run. And that is why it brings us here. And you mentioned Dr. Proctor. There's a young lady that sits beside me in church every other Sunday. And she says, I wish you were here when, I call her a young lady, but she says, I wish you were here when Dr. Proctor was here. He was an amazing individual. And I said, I just can't imagine, because I used to follow the Reverend Calvin Butts. I followed his work, and one of the things that got me with the Reverend Calvin Butts was how the evening after 9/11, when he did that ceremony at Yankee Stadium, and I'm just looking at this figure on stage leading Yankee Stadium filled with people coming out to come together after the 9/11 attack on the United States of America. Just a giant figure. And I just, imagining and looking at Jesse Jackson and looking at his work. He was a huge figure. Bob Gore?
He was large on so many levels, and showed that God-given unique talent very, very early on in his undergraduate years. And Dr. King discovered it early on in the Southern Campaign when Jesse joined him. Mm-hmm. It was rediscovered when he came to Chicago and zeroed in on economic policy as the pathway to a better life for African Americans and others. Mm-hmm. He was one of the first to talk about things like universal health care, a minimum individual income, changes in housing policy to make home ownership more affordable, business development as a core to community development. Jesse was a visionary in all these areas. Mm-hmm. And so as he grew and matured, each arena opened up new doors and new possibilities for him. Mm-hmm. But it goes without saying that when you are able to ascend to a national campaign for the presidency of the United States, mm-hmm. you have a lot of wind in your sails, and you also, in his case, have the God-given opportunity that was uniquely yours, so that not only did he carry the ancestors with him, mm-hmm. but he was supported by success and experience that not only gave him skill, but showed him possibilities. Mm-hmm. Because to be a leader, you got to see around the corner and ahead of the pack. Yeah. To be a leader, you have to bring people along. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like something that he woke up one morning and decided to run, but most of us have people who don't see what our leaders can see. Mm-hmm. Most of us don't have that visionary instinct. We got to be brought along, and sometimes kicking and screaming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even then, we don't necessarily get on board. Mm-hmm. Jesse had that vision and that spark, and his unique ability to enunciate. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is one of the greatest speakers we've had in America.
Yeah, he was. He was a very good orator. Jesse Jackson was there the night Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was gunned down in Memphis. Have you ever had a chance to talk to Jesse Jackson about what was that night like? Have you ever spoken to Reverend Jackson?
No, I did not. And it's interesting you mentioned that. I don't think anybody else has ever asked me that question, but I did talk to Reverend James Bevel, who was also at the Lorraine Motel that evening. And we had a conversation the day of Dr. King's funeral in Atlanta. What was it like? We all heard their interviews to the media, right? We all heard about Jesse's reaction, and that he went out and, without changing his clothes, began to talk about that experience in a way that was so dramatic that it captured the imagination of all the news stations and people who saw those pieces. But I did talk to Jim Bevel, and it was who actually did a kind of a potent reenactment of the whole scene. And, no one anticipated, though death was always around the corner, what was going to occur. No one could have foreseen or realized the emotions that they were going to experience that evening. But it seems that what they all came away with was a rededication to the cause that Dr. King led. It seems that they didn't waste much time mourning before they took out to organize the Poor People's Campaign, as you recall, was Dr. King's economic initiative for black and poor white people to end up in Washington, D.C. as a symbol of the need for economic empowerment.
And that entire movement is for another conversation. A lot of folks did not know that Dr. King had launched this thing where they were building like a community, not only for black folks but also for poor white folks, and it was gaining traction. Bob Gore, it was gaining.
I was there. I went to Resurrection City.
All right, and we'll talk about it soon. We're gonna build a program around it, Bob Gore. No, I watched the night when Barack Obama became president of the United States, and I watched the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the audience crying. Have you ever talked to Jesse Jackson about his emotion that night, and what do you think? Why was Reverend Jackson crying?
Well, I have no personal conversations to reflect on from that evening, but I can say this much from what was written and said about him. First of all, it was a realization of what started as a dream around him. Okay. I mean, it took decades later. It took a very changed, electorate, and also was something that, when Dr. King would say, "I may not be with you, but we as a people will get to the mountaintop." I think that kind of thinking is baked into the African American form of theology and the African American faith, that whether you're in church or any religion at all, you have that someday somebody like you will achieve accomplishments that are in your dreams. It may be your child, it may be your great-great-grandchild. But as I tell my friends, that most of us stand on the shoulders of others, but we also are fueled by the prayers of others who say, "I don't know where she is going to come from or what he's going to look like, but someday somebody from our group is going to make it."
Indeed. And boy, what an evening that was. It brings me to this now, Bob Gore, before we close out this morning. And you go back to one of the things that people will always remember Jesse Jackson about is keep hope alive. Keeping hope alive. A dream deferred. And I was pleased to be a part of this engagement. It's a book, ladies and gentlemen, entitled Jesse Jackson and the Fight for Black Political Freedom by Abby Phillips. Yes, she came to the Abyssinian Baptist Church, and there was a fireside conversation. And what a conversation it was, you know, and I think that was the time when members of the Abyssinian Baptist Church was getting to know that you were Jesse Jackson's campaign manager at one point too, Bob Gore. You know, when you look at this fight for black political power, to name a few people, Bob Gore, because you've been around for quite some time, name a few people who really fought vigorously for black political power in America. Jesse Jackson was one of those persons who exemplify what a true fighter was, huh?
Yeah. And you know, there have been those that we can call whose names were in the press. However, the people who actually make political power happen are folks who were at the grassroots level. As I probably mentioned earlier, all politics is local, grassroots. You don't have presidential candidates unless you have local community people in the city council who know how to organize local campaigns that give rise to successes at congressional levels that creates delegates who go to the national convention. Okay? Politics is not top down, it's bottom up. And some of the candidates and most of the people who make these things happen, we don't know about. Because we only see the mayors. We don't see the committeemen. We don't see the state legislators from a national point of view. But we see who becomes the mayor. Well, the mayor is the result of that local grassroots percolation that opened up candidate at upper levels who become mayors. But I had the good fortune of being involved in a couple of other noteworthy politics that were close to my heart. People who I love personally because of what they represented. I mentioned Harold Washington in Chicago, a towering figure, forceful as you have to be if you're going to win in Chicago. Senator Ed Brooke, who was the first post-Reconstruction black senator out of Massachusetts, of all places, a Republican of all parties. A progressive, even to make it a more interesting conversation for some time down the road, back when the Republican Party and both parties were big enough and broad enough to encompass different points of view under the same party banner. But in each of those campaigns, I volunteered and committed as much time as I could, but more importantly, I bought into the movements that they created because I was caught up in something. I didn't make it happen. I happened to observe it and play the role that was available to me. But they all created movements. You know, they went beyond the typical narrowness of what we might define as their backgrounds to reach out to people beyond their circle, to encompass people across ages. And so we have those kind of people in our midst. And they're rising up around us all the time. And we've got to make sure that we not only identify them, but help them, support them, and help them stay the course so that they listen to the ancestors from whom they've come versus others who may sway their point of view.
In remembering the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Bob Gore, how you think Reverend Jackson would have liked us to remember him?
I think by having these conversations that keep hope alive and that help us focus on broad bandwidth ideas, multicultural ideas, global ideas that are elevated by spirit and faith and that embrace even those who may not look like, sound like, act like, speak like us, but to speak to a world of change, not just the narrowness that sometimes we're drawn into, particularly in these days in American politics.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Mr. Bob Gore, one-time campaign manager here in New York to the Reverend Jesse Jackson when he ran for president in 1984. Jesse Jackson joining the ancestors this past week, February 17th, at age 84. You know, folks, I just want you to understand that there's so many folks who came before us and who've paved the way for us to be here, even to having these conversations. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was one of those folks. And, you know, we always say that some folks gave the ultimate price. Jesse Jackson gave it all. He gave it all. Bob Gore, before we close?
Yes. He gave it all, but he shared it selflessly, and he was out there in front on all of our behalf, even when we sometimes didn't stand up and support him the way we should have. He never wavered. He never stopped. Failing health didn't impede him, and he symbolized the best and the brightest, the resiliency, and those who overcome to create the best, not just for themselves. He didn't do it for personal gain. He did it on behalf of us all. So we thank God for him. And we only pray that some echo of what he represents resides in us, that we can pass on to our children and our children's children.
One final thing, one standout moment in your dealings with Jesse Jackson, Bob Gore, if you had to take one, walk away, what would that one be?
Well, now, I don't want to end on something as simplistic, but my favorite story is this. Jesse had come to Abyssinian one Sunday, and, you know, Secret Service details are very orchestrated operations, right? And I noticed he showed up on Sunday morning, and his Secret Service detail looked tired. Looked at the image followers. Jesse was a high-energy kind of guy. And, you know, he came in the office, and two things happened. I'm trying to tighten this up. First is, he came in the office, and Dr. Proctor greeted him. This is in Dr. Proctor's office. He says, Jesse, you finished your PhD yet? And Jesse hesitated. He looked down at his shoes and said, no, to Dr. Proctor. And the Secret Service detail said, who was this speaking to Reverend Jackson that way? Why is Jesse being so humble? I said, that was his teacher. And the second thing that happened that day was Jesse said, we're going to go walk down Lenox Avenue. That's what it was called in the day. And they said, well, Reverend Jackson, that's not on the game plan. That's not the route. We don't have a detail on Lenox Avenue. He said, we're going to walk down Lenox Avenue.
Wow.
Now, you know, his detail already looked tired. They look worn out, and now they got to chase him down because Jesse, he said, no, I'm not going to come to Abyssinia. They got to walk down Lenox Avenue, and they did. But, you know, I watched his detail. I saw them several times in the campaign. There was a kind of pride that they took in being on his detail. Not only because they knew they had to be extra vigilant because of what he represented, but also, you know, the ages were young, and I think I don't know about their politics, but they seem to enjoy Reverend Jackson a lot. And so, like I said, there are those other campaign stories, but that Sunday at Abyssinian, when they realized who Dr. Proctor was in Jesse Jackson's life, and the fact that Jesse says, I'm not coming to Harlem without walking down Main Street.
Indeed.
You know.
Indeed. I thank you so much, Bob Gore, for sharing this morning, sharing your words about the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. And folks, I'm going to urge you, I'm going to urge you to pick up this book from Abby Phillips, Jesse Jackson and the Fight for Black Political Power. Learn some more about some of the stuff that the Reverend Jesse Jackson did so we could be here today standing on his shoulders, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a house of worship to worship, it is the Abyssinian Baptist Church in Manhattan. Boy, I can tell you, the service, it's just grabbing you more and more every Sunday, Bob. So, you know, and I said to Reverend Johnson last week, based on what he preached on, and you talk about fellowship and connection. The fellowship and connection within the Abyssinian Baptist Church, it is powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Service starts at 10 a.m. every Sunday morning. Be a part of something good. Be a part of something, you know, that you could meet some great people and fellowship with some great people. So thank you very much, Mr. Bob Gore. Huh?
My pleasure. God bless you, and I salute you for what you continue to do on our behalf to educate, uplift, and inspire.
Thank you so much, Bob. You are one of my inspirations, sir. Thank you so much, Uncle Bob. Take care.
God bless.
God bless you too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Bob Gore, one-time campaign manager to Jesse Jackson, who joined the Ancestors a few days ago at age 84. I'm going to take a quick musical break and my final commercial break. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Open Forum Community Talk, the shenanigans that is taking place with the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council election. Got a song from Bugle, yes, and Agent Saska. That's right.
Here come Bugle and De La Vega.
That's right. Hey.
Saska. 808.
808. Straight.
Talk to them, Bugle.
Hey.
Ain't got time for you when the negative things you're doing. I ain't got time for you. Everyone like you. I got a smile on my face. I got love in my heart. Nothing negative, nothing in my thoughts. When I'm the hide from the light, come in the good in the dark. Nothing negative, nothing in my thoughts. We have the same teacher, but none of them in my class. Nothing negative, nothing in my thoughts. Excuse, give me away, move me apart. Nothing negative, nothing in my thoughts.
Tell them not evil, nothing negative, so we no deal with minus. We blessing multiply so they cannot divide us. So yes, we give thanks to the blessing them which are provide us. Boy, them cannot stop because of Jah guide us. And you can't drain with energy, go drain your sinus. You know see, bad mind active them, yes, them catch you virus.
That's right.
The barrel, them no man you climb up.
True.
Of the fact negativity time up. Tell
hey.
them not Bugle.
Hey.
I got a smile on my face, I got love in my heart. Nothing negative, nothing in my thoughts.
And you know, folks, it brings me to this because I'm now wondering why House Speaker Mike Johnson refused, why House Speaker Mike Johnson rejected a request to have Reverend Jesse Jackson lie in state at the Capitol. Rosa Parks lied in state at the Capitol. Why? Mike Johnson, why? I'm going to take my final commercial break, and when we come back, Open Forum Community Talk. It is Groovin Radio on a Saturday morning, and do remember, we're live. Yes, Groovin Radio is live on the Tony Culture YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this break and forward in a minute.
Wait the town and tell the people.
It's a newly renovated VP record store located at 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. We have a wide array of music for you to choose from: reggae, soca, gospel, and rocksteady. We also stock specialty gift items, arts, books, CDs, and vinyl. And for that trendy individual, check out our rhythm-driven clothing. Visit us today, VP Record Store, 170-19 Jamaica Avenue. Open Monday to Friday, 11 to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. Call us today, 718-297-5802. That's 718-297-5802.
Brand new!
Lord, me picnic on all the way to Missouri. I mean, no know how him a eat at daytime because him love him banana chips, him love him bun and cheese, and I don't know which part of the world I'm going to find them the same thing there.
Relax, Mary, what you talk about? This handy boy got the corner shop and make him harder what he want.
What you want to talk about corner shop? You know, see the boy there all the way in Middle America back a God back. You think we there Jamaica?
No, darling. Get with the times, man. Modern technology we are talking about. The corner shop online. KingstonCornerShop.com.
What?
Kingston Corner with a K shop.com. And him just harder the thing them and them ship it right to him destination. So him can get up a man in time and make him little plantain porridge. For lunch, him can eat some bully beef with little honey and cut up in there. And then for dinner, him can boil the great Jamaican cock soup.
So him really want me home so much.
So say it with me and set your heart at ease.
KingstonCornerShop.com.
The newly renovated dining room at the Door Caribbean Restaurant is something to talk about. Talk about being exquisite, elegant, and truly sophisticated. It's a must-see and something you'll be talking about for a long time. The Door Caribbean Restaurant, because you deserve nothing less.
Looking for a medical doctor? Hey, look no further. Dr. France Jasmine for all your medical needs. Dr. Jasmine specializes in immigration medical examination form I-693, citizenship test exemption form N-648, DOT certified for medical examination for all CDL drivers, including bus and truck drivers, pre-employment examination, school medical examination. Call today, don't delay. Call Dr. Jasmine right away. 718-994-8932. Located 3919 Dyer Avenue off 233rd Street in the Bronx. Dr. France Jasmine, board certified.
Attack! You know the thing got big up Groovin Radio with Ras Clem and Busy Signal. I said that, man. Attack!
Thank you so much, Busy Signal. And it brings us now, ladies and gentlemen, to the final segment of our presentation this Saturday morning here on the Groovin Radio Experience. It is now time for Open Forum Community Talk. And the community conversation we're going to be having this morning, it surrounds the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council Election 2026 and the shenanigans that is on display now, ladies and gentlemen. It is troubling. It is deeply, deeply troubling. The election officially ended yesterday, but did it really end yesterday? Former founding member of the Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board, Mr. Patrick Beckford, OD, has now joined us. Good morning, Patrick. How are you?
I am great in cool New Jersey this morning.
Indeed. And folks, if you're in New Jersey, we're live on 92.5 FM over there in Bergen County, New Jersey. Now, Patrick, we have been watching the shenanigans that have been taking place with the Global Diaspora Council 2026 election, to the point where this thing ended up in court. I mean, why and how did we get here? I mean, it seems as if the diaspora is totally split, huh? What's going on, Patrick?
Well, I can tell you, based on my observation and still intimately involved with a lot of people who are active in it, and those who are seeking offices. One of the things I am a little bit hesitant to say this is going right, because initially when I was sitting on the board I sat with Delano, I sat with Arnaldo Brown, I sat with Robertson, Madahu Fort. It went a lot of transition, but the intent originally was it was organized by the government, rightly so, because they saw the capacity of the diaspora, based on their research. But what happened, the original intent was to divest, the government should divest itself and make us become a independent body, which it should be. And I can tell you that we have evolved out of it. Under Minister Robinson, they had the very first and only diaspora submission to Parliament and the Joint Select Committee and Parliament about diaspora. So in order for me to do that, I got some students from Columbia University and other CUNY University in the Northeast to helped me do a research to make a very fundamental presentation, because I just didn't want to go up there and talk stupidity. I wanted to give a lesson. So the things that I learned from the Columbia University students and the other students' research, I learned figuratively that one diaspora, other diaspora like Nigeria and India have their diaspora association in the countries that they are. That number one. The second fundamental thing that I learned, because one of the big arguments that time was everybody saying we want diaspora voting, and I was one of those who say, yeah, well, it'd be nice. But having done the research with the students, then I realized that is not something that we should do, because it's not democratic. For one, I just really reiterate, one point for me that struck me, I looked at, I'm from Falmouth, so I'm looking at if my children who are born Americans don't even know their cousin, they're going to have a vote. Their vote would change who they think, and maybe it's going to be my advice. I'll vote for this because I'm particularly familiar with this party. So they'll be making informed decision that will affect their cousins who they don't know living in the area.
Okay, but
so that changed my mind fundamentally from it.
All right, but here's what I think about that, Patrick, and I don't think it probably would have worked that way, because I'm one of those persons who think that diaspora member should be able to vote in Jamaica, but it needs to come with some criterias. It's not just any diaspora member that would be should be allowed to vote. It should be members of the diaspora who have a vested interest in Jamaica. You have property, you have a home, you're registered to vote, you have a bank account and stuff like that. And because it wouldn't just be my children who are offsprings of a Jamaican citizen. I don't think we would have wanted it that way, because hold on 1 second. One second. When you look at New York probably have the most Jamaicans offsprings, and most of these offsprings know nothing about Jamaica. So if we're gonna call for Jamaicans to vote in the diaspora, from the diaspora, it should be properly structured. We should take a look at it and see how best we can make it happen. But when I look today, and let's kind of leave that out of the conversation for a moment. When I look today on the shenanigans that are taking place, and I look at the power of the diaspora, you have some representative who are appointed, and you have some who are elected. Yes. Do you think then, since the government appoint some of these representatives, the government should just go ahead and appoint all the representatives, or we need to go back to the drawing board, and if we're going to have an election, we should have a lot of public education about what the Global Diaspora Council is, how the representative work and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that? Should they just go ahead and appoint all the members, or you think we should take another route and go back to the drawing board to ensure that members of the diaspora know who and what they're voting for? Your take.
Well, my take is that the last point to make, I think, is the most relevant. The point is that the diaspora is for people who live outside their borders. And so they should be, or the government should not be appointed. But here's what it was made of. They have 31 members, right? The minister is the chair, he's appointed. 15 is elected within the diaspora, and 15 is appointed by the minister. So you're smart, so who will be in control? Majority, out of 30, which is the minister is appointed, 15 appointed by the minister. The minister vote, and the 15 you appoints will so the diaspora people will be just sitting there as bench warmers,
right?
Because so how how do you take somebody you appoint in Jamaica to sit on the diaspora board, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council? What does he know about me living in New Jersey, or somebody living in New Connecticut, somebody living in Georgia? How we want to do. So my thing is that your last point is that we should go back. The origin of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, I was the one who suggested call it that name. And I said, we expect it should be like it should be registered in the United States, registered in Canada, registered in UK, under their 501c3 or whatever they call it. I think Canada call it society, that's a non-profit, and all operation. The government, here's what I say, the government, the minister or their appointee can be an ex officio member that, have an opportunity to attend, the meetings and everything. And here's what I think, the consulate now, and people say, consulate should provide the office space and provide a staff member where the government of Jamaica pays for it. And here's what I say. People might say, but why we don't? Here's what the government is doing with this money. They spend billions of dollars to support tourism, to advertise for multinational groups who are making billions out of Jamaica, and Jamaica not reaping for it. Think about it. If they can spend that for tourism, the diaspora remittance last year was much more than tourism, much more. And this year it's going to be even much, much more. So how are you paying for something that they are, the money and the investment interests that are earning are being used in their country or whatever, and Jamaica's, even the workers are not even getting a decent salary. So separating them and giving the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council autonomy is the key to start to move from here. Because if you notice that when I was writing some stuff the other day, and what I said is that we as the diaspora should move from the philanthropy class. That's who we are, and into the investment class. And investment doesn't necessarily mean that we have to invest in business. That would be good. But what I'm saying, investment is that we have skill sets that can be invested in Jamaica, and take somebody who doesn't even know the thing and appoint them as some expert in things. When we have, take for example, I'll give you an example.
Real quick.
In terms of our use of the environment, like solar energy. There's a myriad of Jamaicans with solar energy expertise. They could come and use their expertise in a profitable way to enhance that aspect of Jamaica. But we intend to use a lot of stuff,
Right. Patrick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Patrick, you mentioned something there, and I don't want to veer off the conversation, but I just want to say something about it. I think we need to take a good look at solar energy. I think we need to take a good look and see, and try to take a good look and see if how much negativity and how much danger is attached to solar energy. We're talking about waves now, We're talking about waves, and I saw something this week where they were talking about electric cars, and people who sits in electric cars for a long time, they're now experiencing some massive headaches. So as we push to cleaner energy, let's be mindful that some of these clean energy stuff could be dangerous to our health. Let's go back to the conversation, and we have 3 more minutes. Let's go back to the conversation here. As a founding member of the Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board, Patrick Bedford, the shenanigans that we're watching, I said it was deeply troubling. And I say that because I don't think we should have ended up where it ended up without even talking about the litigations that is taking place around what's been going on, without even mentioning names. How troubling you think this is, Patrick Bedford?
Well, I think it is troubling because it's a diversion from the meat of what the intent of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council is. It should be a positive contribution to the continuing development of Jamaica. Where should Melissa? We should be more organized and taking the lead and says, okay, let's give a group of people interested in, say, for example, say St. Elizabeth. We're going to sit down together and say, what's the best way we can, and the fastest way we can get St. Elizabeth even to start creeping. Right now, we are crawl, even to start to creeping.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
What best way we can do? What industry we could look in? And even if we do a solar, we can become a research center in a way because we have the solar energy. How can we counteract the waves or the so we have the expertise, but we have to use them properly.
Yeah.
So so that's what I'm saying. This thing is a distraction because I think here's what I think. I think that there's a mistrust between those in Jamaica and those here, and quite likely I understand that because all the shenanigans we see happening, and all who can pass the integrity commissions, and so
go ahead.
Yeah, so these are the things that I think is causing it. So if we divest ourselves from it, and I think I love that this could be an agreement to avoid the lawsuit. Says, okay, we're going to, the agreement we can come together, we're going to divest ourselves and let it become autonomous.
One final question. I mentioned earlier on public education, because if I go out in the street right now and ask folks to partake in the Global Diaspora Council election, they're going to ask me, what is that, Ras Clem? Because personally, I don't see the public education behind this. Do you think this current shenanigans that's taking place? Final question, 2 minutes. Do you think this current shenanigans that is taking place, it has opened up the door for either one, the foreign minister herself, Kamina Johnson-Smith, or the junior minister, Mr. Terrelong, to come and have a conversation with the diaspora about the Global Diaspora Council? 2 minutes. Go ahead.
I agree with that profoundly. And one way they could do it, they're planning this June diaspora biannual conference. I think what they should do, forget all these people talking to the diaspora people who attended and talking down to them because they have all the answers. They should let it be a diaspora conference. So we could just meet the diaspora to meet and chart the way forward. Get everybody that is interested to come and sit and have a conference not with people talking down to people, but people talking together and come up with an action plan how we move forward.
Right.
That would be best.
But one thing I was saying about that, which I wish you had gone to, is for them to come here and sit and have town halls. Sit and have town halls with us. And that's where I'm going to leave it, sir. Thank you so
I agree with that.
Yes, indeed.
That would be the best way.
Yes, indeed. And we should continue these dialogue, huh?
Yeah, man. Just link me in the time.
Indeed.
All right?
Indeed.
But everybody is interested. We can sit and work on some of the ideas that we can put together and say, hey,
you mentioned Saint Elizabeth, and I had something jotted down here, and it says, has the sting of Hurricane Melissa passed and gone? Huh? Has that sting? Because I don't see anything moving too fast in Jamaica, right, Patrick?
Nothing at all.
That's for another day. Patrick Bedford, right, OD. Thank you so much. One love. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our talk segments here on Groovin Radio. I have some news items to mention before I go this morning. I just want to thank you all very much for being a part of the conversation. They're now saying that there's a new new blood test. And this is health news. There's a new blood test that can actually identify if you're going to develop Alzheimer's disease. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. It comes from the Independence. And now they're also saying that younger and younger Americans are getting chronic illness earlier and earlier. And that's why I even mentioned solar. Is there an effect coming from solar-powered, homes and stuff like that? We just don't know. We go to the orbit. Washington, D.C., Senior Senator Mr. Dick Durbin says President Donald Trump endgame is clear. He think Trump endgame is that he wants to rig our electoral system and our election, that Republicans will never, ever lose again. And that's coming from Dick Durbin. I go to CNN. Sources said that President Donald Trump privately railed against Republican lawmakers over the backlash from the recent videos that was put out on his social media page depicting the Obamas as ape. He went after a lot of Republican. We go to Norway, and former Prime Minister of Norway, Mr. Jagland, well, he has been charged with aggravated corruption after police probe into his alleged tie to who? Sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. I wonder why the Epstein file is creating such a havoc in Europe, and it's not really creating the same havoc here. Let's go to the Hill. Former New Jersey Governor Mr. Chris Christie, he claimed recently that many of his Republican colleagues privately support his criticism of President Donald Trump, despite praising the president in public. He pointed specifically to Senator Lindsey Graham. Yeah, he pointed to Lindsey Graham. It is said now, and going back to the Epstein file, that President Donald Trump told police in the mid 2000s everyone has known about Jeffrey Epstein misconduct. Shortly after law enforcement started their investigation in Jeffrey Epstein, when it became public, Donald Trump called the Palm Beach, Florida Police Department to express gratitude. And this is according to a new released document. Yes, indeed. Washington, D.C. The Washington Post has gutted about a third of its staff, making that the largest round of layoff since Jeff Bezos acquired the paper, ladies and gentlemen. The Vatican said this week that the Pope will not be a part of the Board of Peace by President Donald Trump. He said the Pope will not join the president, according to top diplomats from the Vatican. The Pope said that the UN should be dealing with that. Look what happened to the former Prince Andrew. He was arrested this week. Once again, why? He's tied to the Jeffrey Epstein situation. And the executive chairman of Hyatt, he also stepped down. Why? Because of his connection with who? Jeffrey Epstein. Once again, this is the Groovin Radio experience. I gotta say thanks. Thanks to Christopher Martin. His music was presented here this morning in our musical presentation this morning, brought to you by Kingston Corner Shop. We were joined in our community engagement segment by Catherine Gore. She is the producer of this wonderful play that is coming up on March 7th in New Jersey. It's a murder mystery, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be a part of it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, after the 10 o'clock hour, we got news from the Jamaica Information Services. The news was presented by Miss Joy Kelly. Anthony Turner was absent this morning because he is on assignment. Then we move forward into Mic Check. As a matter of fact, you got a brand new song in the first hour from Agent Sasko called Reggae Proverbs to end the first hour. We move now into our featured segment, Mic Check, this Saturday morning. We remember the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, who joined the ancestors this week at age 84. My special guest was Mr. Bob Gore, one of Jesse Jackson's campaign manager when he first ran for president in 1984. Then we got a brand new song, once again, from Bugle and Agent Sasko. Upliftment, it's called, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard from Mr. Patrick Beckford, the former Diaspora Board member from the original Diaspora Advisory Board. Conversation, the shenanigans taking place with the Global Diaspora Council election, and then that's where we wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say a big thank you to Tony Culture, the Tony Culture Time app. We're on the Tony Culture YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Irie Jam Radio, Hot 97.1 FM HD3, 92.5 FM in Bergen County, New Jersey. WB Radio app, Reggae King Radio, Island Flavor Radio, 98.9 FM, the Future FM team, DJ Sean and the family, ladies and gentlemen. You could go back on the Tony Culture YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, and you could listen and watch the Groovin Radio's presentation this Saturday morning. Once again, my name is Ras Clem. I really want to do a roll call this Saturday morning because so many people actually kind of engaged us on Facebook this morning. Got to say thanks to Mr. Gerald Bell, Dr. France Jasmine, he joined us. James Ains, good morning. Computer Mike, Merlin Leslie, Bill Mack, Rob Lowe, Dr. Trevor Dixon, Teddy Hume, Melbourne Newell, Dave Rodney, Kerone Chung, Carmita Albarosa, yes, Mr. Chucky Francis, Heather Mason, Salim Zulu, Sharon Wint Johnson, Cindy Gallagher, Des Yu, President Sean Darkins, Janet Henry, Diana Hume, Jackie H.M., Andrew from Brata, O'Neill Ankle, good morning, sir. Mr. Patchman, good morning. And Norma Aldridge also joined us. Maxie D, good morning to you. Got to say thanks to each and every one who made this presentation possible. Mr. Gregory Smith, the man who once worked for President Barack Obama. I am going to leave you with my closing remarks right now. The Reverend Jesse Jackson will take us home, ladies and gentlemen, for my closing remarks.
Young America, hold your head high now. We can win. You must never stop dreaming. Face reality, yes, but don't stop with the way things are. Dream of things as they ought to be. Dream. Face pain, but love, hope, faith, and dreams will help you rise above the pain. Use hope and imagination as weapons of survival and progress, but you keep on dreaming, young America. Dream of peace. Peace is rational and reasonable. War is irrational in this age and unwinnable. Dream of teachers who teach for life and not for living. Dream
Indeed.
Of doctors who are concerned more about public health
Indeed.
Than private wealth. Dream of lawyers more concerned about justice and the judgeship. Dream of preachers who are concerned more about prophecy than profiteering. Dream on the high road with sound values. You must never surrender to inequality.
Indeed.
Women cannot compromise ERA or comparable worth. Women are making 60 cents on the dollar to what a man makes. Women cannot buy meat cheaper. Women cannot buy bread cheaper. Women cannot buy milk cheaper. Women deserve to get paid for the work that you do. It's right and it's fair.
Keep hope alive. Rest well, Reverend Jesse Jackson. To my brother, the Bajan King, Edwin. Much love, my brother. Thank you so much for your help every single week as my outside producer. Thank you, my brother. One love, one love. I leave you with Chronics this morning. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Happy heavenly birthday to Alcion Roach Wilson. Happy heavenly birthday to the one and only DJ Bandit. St. Andrew Technical is in mourning to the family of Mr. Vastel. Our condolences to the family of Carl. Condolences.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning, I rise, I stare at the sun.
Maxie D, my brother from another mother. Blessings, my friend. Hey.
I lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man.
Yes, indeed.
With my two hands in the air, as far as I
Tanisha Malcolm, good morning, cuz. Karen Dunkley, how are you?
Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing.
I got a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Was God a Christian or a Muslim? Was God male or female? Can you tell me? Hey.
Sometimes I'm lost and far from home.
Who am I?
But I'll find my way.
Who am I? Where the hell in the world I'm from? Hey. Until Saturday morning. Have a blessed week. And just keep praying for me, man. Just keep praying for me. I need your prayers, ladies and gentlemen.
Every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to this. I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air as far as I can.
DJ Sean, thank you, sir. Fat forward. Thank you, bro. Morning, DJ Roy. Later on today, about 3 p.m., you can catch Roy, my brother from another mother. Oxtail, once again, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for that powerful message you sent me, sir. Much love and respect, Oxtail.
Lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air as far as I can. Yeah, as far as I can. I can, yeah. My two hands in the air as far as I can.
Come on, make it talk, make them fall. One run before they walk. Let them talk, let them talk, let them talk, oh Lord. Let them talk, oh Lord. Truth will reveal, truth will reveal. Can't stop the Father's works working in you and me. They don't love to see. Oh, I plant my seed and watch it grow. And when I reap my corn, at that the time the heathen show up. Them want come eat and want come share. Don't even see the blood, sweat, and tears I beg, but them a talk. Let them talk. Come on, make it for talking. Let them talk. Run before they walk. Oh, God bless. Them want come curse today. They want the righteous ones. It's like they want us to be the worst. But true I live with my back against the wall. I know myself. I see them arise, I see them fall. So let them talk. Let them talk. Come on, make it for talking. Them love for run, them want to run before they walk. Let them talk. Make it for talking. Let them talk. Come on, make it for talking. And just around no vanity. Vanity. Oh no.
was a little crazy. I never knew I had so much jealousy inside.
You're not the only one to blame, 'cause I acted crazy too. Truth is, I'm crazy over you. Yeah. So where do we go from here? I don't care, as long as we're together. Baby, I'm kinda scared.
Have no fear, I'm your knight in shining armor.
I wanna believe you,
baby, believe I do.
but before I go, there's one thing I need to know. Are you still in love? Still in love? Are you still in love? Still in love? Are you still in love? Still in love? Are you still in love with me? Still in love? Still in love? I was wondering if you were still in love with me, 'cause I'm still in love with you. Even though I'ma try so hard to move on, me couldn't do it. Leaving you that night was so wrong, I shoulda knew it. Oh, now I'm looking in your eyes, baby, I apologize.
How you fi do that, girl? Me never tell you, say, what's yours is mine, I try get to it. No, now I realize that I really need you by my side.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?